everybody, Big Hungry Phil here with a note of thanks to Opinion Outpost for sponsoring the Trial of Champions. Want to make some extra cash? Well, earn money through Opinion Outpost by just sharing your opinion. All you've got to do is fill out some surveys. You can make money while watching streams, queuing for a game, or even waiting for your teammates to group up for one final overtime push on the point. Use Opinion Outpost to get that skin you've always wanted. There's nothing better than treating yourself to some well-deserved loot boxes after a long competitive grind. Visit the link to start making money today.
Like, I'm putting all of my time into this always. And to be honest, it kind of has to work out because my academic career wasn't amazing. Video gaming is kind of all that I have. So I don't really have a lot else to put, a lot more energy to put into it. It's everything that I can.
They say, like, do what you love, and I really, really like playing Overwatch. I make fun of the game a lot and, complain about balance patches and stuff, but I really do enjoy the game. I want to make a career out of it.
So I started playing Overwatch in October 2016. That was like season 3. My first ranking ever was 900. So I started in like bottom bronze.
Playing games for money and playing games for pro and going against really good people. And it's always like a dream. Realizing that if I stick to it, this might be something I can actually do something with and be proud of.
When I was originally in Diamond, some guy in my Diamond game a while ago said, "We're never going to go pro, we're Diamond, why are we trying so hard?" And I basically said, "Screw you, I'm going to go pro."
We have now learned that we do have this potential and we need to use this. We need to continue practicing and working harder.
When you look at tier 3, a lot of us have been at the bottom of the barrel. We've been in the downs and the dumps of, the Overwatch ladder system.
I think as a team going into Trial of Champions, now we know we can do this.
Making it to Contenders Trials proves to myself that all the hard work that I'm putting into it is actually doing something.
I went to the Atlanta Reign homestand, seeing those players up on stage. That was the moment I was like, that's who I want to be. I want to do everything I can to get there.
Sigma, whoa, man, back with the
This is W. Oh my god! Their wall to set it up, they had no idea!
The Overwatch League players already made it. They're as high as you can get. They're playing for money and they're playing for clout. But for us, in Tier 3, we're basically playing for our future. If we want to make it, we have to play every match our hardest.
The unique strats that you see in Overwatch League, they all start here.
I am making this dream that I've had for so long, a reality.
At the end of the day, that's what we're all here for, is to play the best Overwatch we can against the best players we can to prove that we're the best.
It is time for the winners top 8 here for the Trial of Champions. To find out who's going to go on to the winners 4, it is Labosco here. I've got Jag along with me, getting ready for our first game of the day. It is going to be Anteku versus Marky's Bagel Shop. And Jag, this looks like it's going to be a pretty good matchup.
Absolutely, Bosco. We are in for a good one. Two teams that are trying to get into that winners semifinals, as you said, but not both of them are competing for that contender trial spot at the end of the road. 4 of the teams that came into the top 16, one of them already being eliminated in Last Hope, Gorilla Grip, Anteku, and Hour Zero still in it, have already qualified for contenders trials through open divisions. So right now, they really just want that sweet, sweet, sweet money at the end of the rainbow. Meanwhile, Marky's Bagel Shop, they've already taken out a team that's destined for contenders trials. They were the ones that first vanished Last Hope to the losers bracket. So say they have a bit of momentum on their side.
A bit of momentum and a lot to play for the side of Marky's Bagel Shop. Of course, we have more than just that game that's going to happen today because we do have all of our winners top 8 games going on. So that means 3 other games you'll get to see here today. Self-Made versus Lunaris will be the one right after this. Then we have Pug, Delta Phoenix, and then Hour Zero versus Tea Party. That's your last one there as well to see who's going into the final 4 for the winner's side and who gets sent down to the losers side. So those teams that are waiting down in losers, well, they have something that they can do right now because of Opinion Outpost. You can answer surveys, you can get some money, earn yourself some loot boxes while you wait. There's actually a link down below in order to do that. So plenty to do here, but of course we've got these teams here in Anteku, like you said, Jag, a team that has already made it in to Contenders Trials.
And this is a team, the core of it, that has been playing together for a very long time. Polarize, Biz, Cal, and Dust, they've been playing together since January. And it's going to be interesting to see if Vega comes into the lineup. I've been told by Sumienje, the manager of Anteku, that Vega is their Mercy specialist. So we might see that pulled out of a hat at some point. Mercy viable with that Sigma Roadhog composition that teams have moved towards. On the side of Marky's Bagel Shop, they've got some history with Anteku too. Vega was their manager at one point, and these teams, they're pretty good friends with each other. This is a friendly rivalry they've developed over time. Let's see who can win it today.
Yeah, a team that has done some scrims with each other and things like that in the past. Very talented rosters we have on either side. You mentioned already Marky's Bagel Shop beating a Trials team. That's their goal for them, and they're led by some good DPS players that they're going to be having here in Josh and AK-47 specifically, playing at least in the DPS spot, but they've got some really good talent the rest of the lineup too.
Neither of these teams were able to sweep in the first round of the winners bracket. Both of them were able to get that 3-1. Still dropping a map, so no team really has a leg up in that regard. And in this map pool, every map counts. As much as you can, you want to get that win percentage up and beyond. It gives you a little bit of momentum and confidence going into the map selection. It is going to be Marky's Bagel Shop choosing today's first map, and we're going to be going to Lijiang Tower to start things off.
So when we look at Lijiang Tower, we know that there's a bevy of things that we can see as far as compositions, just because the 3 different points on Lijiang Tower kind of let you do a lot of different things. So expectations that we should have here for both of these teams going into map number 1.
Yeah, depends on which point we get first, but there are a lot of unique ideas. Control Center might be the least unique of play styles. It is a brawl map through and through. Usually you see the teams run up into that white room, try to take that fight head on. Let's see what they end up doing. We're still waiting for those hero compositions to spawn, but what would you be looking for from either side?
Well, of course, obviously, like you said, more brawl style comps, more rush comps, perhaps. The meta right now, it seems like Reaper's getting to see a lot of playing time, so Reaper is always an option here in this map too, but neither team's going to show us here right away as they're waiting for that time. But Junkrat, always possible too. Anteku, our team in the red. Marky's Bagel Shop, our team in blue.
That Symmetra pick at the beginning is usually just that. It's only for the teleporter, but we're going to get a quick pause. The Symmetra pick, we've seen that a lot. It's for the teleporter, then usually that player will switch immediately to the Reaper. Sometimes they will stay on that Sim. Control is a good map choice for the Sim. You just have the turrets kind of on the point. It can be great for CC. It slows anyone down who gets in their way. And once you get that microwave going, it can really burn through enemies.
Seen it at every level where the Symmetra can find some use. A very good pick in the right situation. And at the very least, you're going to come and use the teleporter to get out a little bit quicker is the nice part. So seeing Marky's Bagel Shop, it looks like they're going to have, well, we'll see if this is what they end up going with. It is going to be the Reaper. There is going to be a Reaper on one of these teams. And then they're also going to have Josh on the Tracer.
The Tracer's just going to be trying to get in the backline, trying to create a little bit of chaos running around that point. They won't have as much upfront damage as we're seeing on the side of Anteku. They have that Junkrat. So much spam and the trades coming out already.
2 players going down already for the side of Anteku, but it's even back up as AK-47 goes down on that tank. So players on either side falling, and Marky's Bagel Shop now looking like they are without that front line. Might have a little bit of trouble keeping control of this point. Polarize just trying to microwave down those last few players left. They're starting to get respawners to come back in for Marky's Bagel Shop though. Anteku still focusing on that front line. AK-47 goes down again on that Reinhardt, and they are not going to be able to keep control at this point.
Dueling Coalescence coming out now, but it looks like this is all Anteku cleaning up this fight. twice now. As you said, AK-47 is going to fall. Tommy has not fallen once. So right now, Inteku doing a much better job at keeping their Reinhardt alive. Now they have that shatter built up already. The shield damage is all they need to get down the enemy Rein shield. Then they can go straight in with that Reinhardt ultimate.
Yeah, a very good start for the side of Marky's Bagel Shop, and now they can start to come back, or sorry, for Anteko, Marky's Bagel Shop can now start to come back in and try to contest on this point. Already up to 29%. You have the wall being used by Polarized to force those players back. They take that ultimate out, and Marky's Bagel Shop will just disengage.
The pulse bomb being committed, not going to find anything, but the Reaper will. There's the shatter going down. It's not going to find enough, and it looks like Marky's Bagel Shop, they're going to turn around this. They're going to get the point after the beat is committed.
Throw that beat on, just swing that hammer at those last few players left alive, and it'll be about 52% for the side of Anteko, so a decent start. They've got a Riptire they can come back in with.
Yeah, that Riptire is going to be their bread and butter right now. We saw that the beat was committed by Graham to counter out the grab, so they don't have any defensive ult to counter this tire. They need to destroy it after it is used.
Charge in, but that allows for the Earth Shatter to come through. Death Blossom through for Marky's Bagel Shop. Thundra Monkey going to be able to do a lot with that.
The Reaper ult there, the Death Blossom, getting the better end of that DPS ult battle. The tire coming in a bit too late from Biz. Now they don't have a good win condition, but with that pick onto the Reaper, that's a lot of damage gone from the side of Marky's Bagel Shop.
You can see Marky's Bagel Shop starting to back up as a result, knowing that they're without their main damage dealer in the Reaper. It's starting to microwave down that shield as they get aggressive on the side of Anteko.
Yeah, and right now we're going to see the sim wall has come out and the point has been flipped. So just that pressure, they were able to get them to back out.
Yeah, a really good start, really good job to be able to do that.
Right now, we're going to just see a little bit of more action coming out right now. We cannot see the 3. Now we have that speed back up. And again, Inteku just taking this fight right to them. They took the point in that last engage. Now they're able to get back in there. But Marky's Bagel Shop, they're trying to get value out of this Tracer, but the flank is just not enough. It's not paying off. The pulse bombs are not hitting, and now that's a very good kill onto Josh as we're getting into final fight territory.
Yeah, about 90% left here. Anteko in front. Marky's Bagel Shop now waiting for Josh to come back in. They're going to have to try and get something very high-powered Zarya that they're going into, but they have the Coalescence. Out comes the Riptire in response. Targets Pearston Hill to make sure to take care of that Coalescence. Sound Barrier in desperation for the side of Marky's Bagel Shop, and Polarized just throwing out those turns, making sure that they still can maintain control for Anteko. Will have a shield to keep themselves safe, too, if they need to retreat behind it. The Pulse Bomb misses, and so do the chances of winning this first point for Marky's Bagel Shop.
That is going to be about that. The last second contest not going to be enough in the end. The Tracer trying to do their best, but Josh cannot hold on to that point any longer. Round 1 of Lijiang going to Anteko. It's the battle of compositions right there. The DPS matchup favored Anteko so heavily. They had that Reaper. They didn't have the Reaper. They had the Symmetra. So once they got that started, she does a lot of damage, especially onto shield. AK-47, that shield from the Reinhardt, giving her a lot more damage as it ramps up, and that Tracer on the side of Marky's Bagel Shop, just not the play, did not pan out how they wanted. But now, right now, Marky's Bagel Shop, they have a chance to even up this map as we go to Night Market.
So Night Market obviously poses a different way that you can play the game. The compositions can change up, and we're already seeing that too. Marky's Bagel Shop is showing us that Ashe. On the other side, Polarized has gone over to the Echo. The interaction here, obviously, you really need Thunder Monkey to be able to take care of the Echo in the sky.
Yeah, that Echo can just burn you down so quickly if they get close enough with their beam. That's going to do so much damage to them, especially if you're at half health. So that's going to be a big battle to watch out for. I think another battle is going to be the battle of the Hammonds and the off-tanks. The Zarya much better equipped to help their own Hammond get out of sticky situations with the bubble. The D.Va, the E might not be as good.
Well, already the fight will start onto this point, and right now both Wrecking Balls just looking to try and make as much havoc as possible, and AK-47 is going to be the one to strike first. Josh trying to deal with the Wrecking Ball on the other end, and it's not really mattering too much because his team has control, still bursting plenty of damage in, halfway to that Pulse Bomb too, but Marky's Bagel Shop strikes right back.
This is a composition that works much better in Josh's favor with the Tracer. This is a Chaos comp. They're just trying to roll on into the point and get as much damage, but now AK-47 has gone a bit too far.
Allows for maybe an opportunity for Anteku, but they're still regrouping, so not going to be super quick. Polarize on the has switched over to the Ash too, by the way, so it will be Ash v Ash now, and Thunder Monkey just trying to stay safe. Polarize in the meantime getting aggressive onto the point, looking for those players, and Anteku will strike back, knock a player off, losing out on that Zarya damage, and now have control of the point. Good luck getting through those mines too, if you're one of those players on the side of Marky's Bagel Shop.
The mines maybe being a bit of an overcommitment. It does pretty much promise that Marky's Bagel Shop is going to have to back out, but you could have used that in another fight. They were already up 3 once they used it. Now, not as good of an alt bank as there is on the other side. That Graviton Surge so close to being online. It's going to be online, and they have alt to combo it with.
Akudemo is getting built up as far as charge too, almost to 50. Able to do that. That's so much damage that you can put out. The bomb onto the point from Marky's Bagel Shop to try and secure it. They contest it the last second, have to give it up though. Self-destruct is able to grab one in Graham, and it's an even trade on either side, but control of the point stays over for Marky's Bagel Shop, and now they will come back in and try and take care of those players retreating. Get the kill on from AK-47 on that ball. Really good on the ball is AK-47.
AK-47 definitely putting on a stronger performance here than they did on the Reinhardt. That was a great transfer from Pascal to try to cancel out the grab, but the anti from the Ana on side of Marky's Bagel Shop was even more clutch. Now, it's looking pretty good for Marky's Bagel Shop. They have a mines at their own to clear point, but they're going to lose the first pick here.
So now it's going to be the recontest coming back in from Anteku. Pascal trying to stay alive on that Zenyatta. See those mines go in front. They will get control, no problem. And Anteku now sitting in a very good position. A lot of ults coming up for them as well.
We could see a dueling mines come out on the point here. Both of them have it online. Actually, it was committed at the end of the fight.
It was, yeah.
47, so that might be a big misplay for them. And now we're going to see another early pick onto the Ash. And Taku, they're down on this fight percentage, but they are putting themselves into a great position to win this point nonetheless.
They're winning the fight without using ultimates is the big thing too, Jag, so they don't even have to worry about using anything.
Yeah, they have now built up a lot of ults. Pascal so close to getting that Transcendence after using it a fight and a half ago. And the grab is nowhere online for the other team, so they can use it a bit more defensively, and the pulse bomb being executed magnificently.
Ooh, the sleep onto Kami too. A very good one to at least force him to slow things down. And Taku trying to make sure they maintain control here. Marky's Bagel Shop was close, but now we are for sure in last fight territory.
Yeah, this could go either way. They did commit a few ults on the side of Anteku. They used both the mines and the pulse bomb. They have their support ults online. Will it be enough? If they can get a good nano onto the Zarya or the Ash, try to build up those ults, that might be enough for Marky's Bagel Shop to take this fight.
AK-47 just trying to get on to get that touch. Had a little bit of trouble swinging in. Able to get the touch, though, to start the overtime. Transcendence use gets the boop off, too, onto the Ash. In the meantime, Pascal trying to help from that backline. But AK-47, another knockup. You did have one go on to Akudemo, but still advantage over to Marky's Bagel Shop. And AK-47, a third knockoff to get this fight back over for Marky's Bagel Shop.
That's gonna be a fourth at the end. It's AK-47's world right now, and Anteku is living in it. They use ults there too. They don't have anything right now. Kami just gonna be hiding to try to touch the point at the last second. It's looking pretty dire right now for Anteku.
Going around the long way too, not going in front, manages to get on just in time, procs the overtime. Now it's about teams, the players on his side. Anteku coming in afterwards. You lose the mech of your diva though, it's gonna be really tough, and they are completely prepared for it for the side of Marky's Bagel Shop. They get control, they use the grab, and they force this to a third point here for our first game, first point, first map of the day.
Going to round 3, it's gonna be settled on Gardens, which is another great map for Hammond. a lot of great boot potential. And there we saw the Ashe threw in the Bob, and that was probably what they were trying to contest with. Bob just went too far. Wasn't able to be on the point. Not sure if Bob got booped off or just was flying right through that gate. Teku kind of letting that map or that point slipping through their hands now. It is an even game for both teams, and we're going to be looking towards a lot more Hammond play as they're not going to be stopping anytime soon on either side.
Yeah, we're seeing both teams switch up what they're going to be doing too. So you're not necessarily going to be having the same comp. So we had a Sombra for one of the sides. Got to be able to see them.
We're gonna get into this first fight. Some poke damage right now. Not able to see the stream feed, unfortunately, at the moment. So just going off sounds currently. And we are back in it. AK-47 gonna fall a little bit weak, but right now, Marquis Bagelshop on the point.
So players starting to come onto the point. Akademo getting extremely low, gets bursted down, and now it looks like control is going over to the side of Anteku.
Right now, we're going to see the point be capped, and that is the end of that first fight. Right now, just waiting to see how this next engage goes. Ults have been built up on the side, so Vega does have that Mercy Valkyrie online. That's going to be a lot of extra healing on the side of Inteku, and Biz not too far behind with that pulse bomb. Could be looking for an opening pick onto the supports on the other side.
Control, control, control. Polarize just shooting into those players starting to come in. Akademo looking for a hook there, misses, but he's on the point, so at least contesting for the moment. And now just, you know, they've got to figure out how they're going to re-engage back into this. Thunder Monkey able to get a kill onto Ashe.
They're not playing the point right now, and it's so close to being capped at the moment. They're able to touch at the last second. They commit the Transcendent. Even though there is going to be a DMEC, this is not going in Teku's way. They are able to get the res, but they just weren't playing the objective.
Josh right now just trying to deal with those backline characters. Grabs the health pack to try and stay alive, but Antico on the re-engage doing such a magnificent job of coming back in, and they still haven't given up control of this point as they are now up to almost 70%.
Yeah, that fight was very messy, but Inteku able to touch the point right before it's capped, able to clean up, committed a bunch of ults. Biz opened that fight up with the pulse bomb and already has it again. So that Tracer play has been very consistent and good from them today. Can they land another one? They are able to burn the res early by getting the Ashe of it.
Thunder Monkey playing on that flank, trying to deal now with Polarize, who's also playing on that Ashe, going into the white room as his team advances forward. Player gets pulled in by Akademo, but it's a trade. You trade your Roadhog for one. The mines come out from AK-47. Gotta try and clear your way to the point, though. Now, if you're the side of Marquis Bagelshop, overtime meters started, players dropping on either side. Pearston Hill, a big loss, but they've killed enough players, and the Bob will be used to clear the way forward from the mines, but they've got to deal with Dusk, who is delaying.
And that Bob is an ultimate they'll probably want back. The only person that was alive there was Dusk, and they were ways away from the point. Now, Inteku got 99% on the point. Marquis Bagelshop only getting to 12. You can take a fight or two. You can take a dry fight on the side of Inteku. There are still ults that MBS has to use, so you have to know that. But if you can get that early pick, you can move in, but that's not how you want to start off this fight.
And if you get an early pick on the other side for Marquis Bagelshop, that means you don't have to use maybe as many ults as you would have had to otherwise in a 6v6. And they can continue to delay onto the point. Polarize starting to move forward, will throw out the Bob, uses the dynamite afterwards, knows there's that Roadhog behind. Transcendence used by Anteku to keep players up. Akademo gets the charge from the nano boost, uses the ultimate, gets the double kill, and Marquis Bagelshop coming back up to 50%.
That was an overcommitment there by Inteku. They tried to start off the fight with a few ults. In the end, did not work out for them. There was just too much already on the side of Marquis Bagelshop. Now both teams resetting their ult banks a little bit, but I would say Marquis Bagelshop came out of that better. They still have point control, and they need to hold on to it as long as possible. They give it up for even a second, and it's immediately overtime for Inteku winning that map.
Yep, we're going to take a timeout though. We have a pause here, and when we come back, we'll start up right as that pause is about to get ready. So don't go anywhere. We welcome you back to Trials of Champions. Labasco here alongside Jag, getting ready for this game to start right back up here in just a moment. Had some things that needed to be taken care of. They're taken care of. We're going to be jumping back in here in Marky's Bagel Shop right now, Jag, making a good effort to come back in this map where they were down 99-0.
Yeah, and if you're just tuning in right now, we're on Lijiang Tower. It's 1-1, as Labasco said, and Teku right now has 99% on the point, but it's been all MBS since then. They are getting up to 60%. They've had good control of this point so far. This map has been so entertaining. It's been so back and forth. It's really anyone's ball game right now.
It's making for a fun first game of our top 8 winners who are trying to advance on to the final 4 for the winner side of the bracket. Of course, these teams, if they lose, they're not done yet. They go down in to the loser side of the bracket, and there's teams waiting for them there right now actually too. So, the right now huge game as far as that, and especially for a team like Marky's Bagel Shop who is fighting for a trial spot.
Yeah, and Teku already has qualified for Contenders Trials through Open Division, so they just want that prize pool. But Marky's Bagel Shop, they are playing for that and a Contenders Trial spot. They've already beaten a team that's got their spot in Last Hope. They've already qualified through Open Division as well, sent them down to the losers bracket where they have been eliminated from the tournament completely. So if anyone can do it, MBS can definitely do it.
Exactly, and the team that ends up losing here ends up going down to play 199X, so that's the team that awaits either one of these teams that loses, and of course, the winner going on will await the winner of the game that we have after this, which is, of course, Self-Made versus Lunaris. So those are the stakes that we have here. We're just waiting to jump in once the pause ends, which it should be ending here in just a moment, but Looking at it so far, I mean, we've seen a variety from both of these teams on what they do, and their styles are a little bit different.
It seems that Marquis Bagel Shop is best when they can enable AK-47 on that Wrecking Ball. They've looked so much more dominant so far, running that on both Night Market and now on Gardens. The Brawl v Brawl was not in their favor so far. Josh has been sticking to that Tracer almost completely. So I'm wondering if maybe that's just the hero they want to be playing. That's one they feel most comfortable on, or this is a team decision to say, hey, we're going to keep you on that Tracer. We're going to keep running it until it works. Now it's been picking up some steam before not working as well. With this hybrid dive, it's looking pretty good for Marquis Bagel Shop.
Yeah, it works a little bit better when you have those other heroes to go along with the tracer that can focus down those targets and do everything like that you want from those sort of dive characters. It's a lot harder to just harass by yourself sometimes unless you're really good at it, like Striker or somebody like that who's just
Striker's
ridiculous
so
on
good. Oh,
tracer.
he's the
It,
best.
it's a little bit tougher, right? Like it's a little bit tougher to kind of work by yourself sometimes, especially when teams are so good. But for the side of Antico, they they have shown us that they are pretty good at some of those more brawly style compositions. They did really good on Control Center. They were in control here for a while on Gardens, but now they're having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, that last fight before the break, I was saying they have to take a dry fight. They have to let ultimates be used by Marquis Bagel Shop. Marquis Bagel Shop, their backs are pushed up against the wall. They lose a fight, it's over, so they have to keep hitting Q to win. They're going to panic a little bit. You got to know that as in Taku. Instead, they initiate with their own ults, commit the Bob and the Transcendence right off the get-go. The Nano Whole Hog countering both of those things. And now they just don't have the advantage they had before. They've thrown it away.
They've got to build in an advantage somehow, and Marky's Bagel Shop has created advantages without ultimates at times too. Here on this, 99-0, this comeback that they've been doing on Gardens, they've gotten some early picks that have allowed them to use less ultimates at times. They have been looking much better as we now can jump right back into game. As we can see here now, they are still in control. They've got the Roadhog ready, trying to get that hook off. Dusk just trying to make sure nobody goes down. Polarized does, though, goes down to Akademo.
That's a huge stagger. Now they can't get the res off, so that's another 10 seconds minimum off the clock. Now, from 0 to 80% on the point, Marquis Bagel Shop, they've had this lockdown for a while. No ultimates for them to use, and now we're seeing that Antico has built some stuff up. They have free ultimates to use in this fight.
Good use of the coach gun, too, to stop Kami from coming in and just boofing players around. Akademo gets the kill onto Pascal, too, so they lose out on their Zenyatta. Thunder Monkey able to counter the Tracer, too, take Fizz down. Now you have Mines in the way, and Marky's Bagel Shop, they are going to lose this point if they can't get any of these other players back, is they just lost 3 in a row, and there's the boop off of AK-47, and now, after it was looking bad for Antico, they come back in, and Marky's Bagel Shop is the team on the back foot.
They got the Zen out of the fight so early on, but the res was there. They created space with the Diva Bomb, and Antico almost all so close to losing that map after building that 99-0 lead, will come back and win Lijiang Tower 2-1.
What a way for that one to end, too, Jag. I mean, it was starting off pretty good for Marky's Bagel Shop. You get that hook at the beginning, you get one of those supports. You think advantage for Marky's Bagel Shop.
The deciding play there, I think, was Kami just kind of rolling into AK-47 on the back. Just a slight nudge was all it took to boot them off the point, and there's all your contests gone. They had no one that was fast and speedy to really touch at that point. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but it can be better to be lucky than good in Overwatch.
That's for sure. Being lucky will help you out sometimes, although it was good, too, because AK-47 going off at the end, the fight was already lost at that point, though, too. So they did the work to get there for Antico. It took them a little bit. It wasn't as clean as probably they would have liked since they were up 99-0. But Route 66 is where we get to go to next. So that, of course, the next map that we're going to be able to see.
Route 66, a very fun map, a map that you can run dive on very well with all of that high ground. And if Lijiang is any indicator, I would not be surprised if we saw more Hammond play coming up on Route 66.
Yeah, why would you not want to play it too if you're the side of Marky's Bagel Shop? I mean, I think the one thing that stands out for them is AK-47 pretty darn good at that hero.
Yeah, they looked so much better on that Hammond than the Reinhardt. That might have been a team composition issue. As I said before, they really didn't have the upfront pressure that Anteku had on Control Center. They needed probably a Reaper or something to help their Reaper because they had that Tracer kind of running around. So maybe a Symmetra would have been great to stick on, but they did not win that point. Now they might be able to flip things. We could see a Winston still come out. Winston more of the traditional dive tank. The meta has been going towards Winston D.Va, played as more of a brawl comp with dive characters. You could see a little bit more creativity. So far, we have not seen a Sombra at all.
Yeah, we saw Sombra for half a second, I think, and then they ended up not picking it. I think for Marquis Bagel Shop was the one who kind of showed they might try it, but that was it. That was all we've seen so far. The other thing too, just thinking about Route 66 and just what could happen here. Well, regardless of that, is the teams are switching sides. So that changes things up a little bit too. And Teku will be the team to defend first. We'll have Marquis Bagel Shop attacking. So just a note for those of you paying attention, the team that was blue is now going to be red. The team that was red is now going to be blue. Gotta not quite have that change yet on the client where red stays with whatever team starts with it. We'll get there eventually though, right?
One day you can hope so. I mean, Valorant only just added, all those spectator slots. So at least we're a bit ahead of that.
Yeah.
One thing I think we're going to be looking at right now is there a mental aspect to this? Right now, this was the first map pick was Marquis Bagel Shop. They were the higher seed coming into this. Now they lost that. They're going to be picking this next map as well, which will be Route 66. And Taker gets to pick the side. A lot of the time, if you pick defense first, what you're saying virtually is, hey, we're going to full hold you, and then we're going to take this really quickly.
And you were talking about Marquis Bagel Shop now having to make a second pick in a row. I mean, is this something that affects you mentally, or is this something where it's only the first map? Like Control, we all know is kind of the outlier of all the map types, anyways.
Yes, Control usually goes to the team that is less skilled statistically. Less skilled might not be the best word, but anyway, moving on. As we said, Route 66 is what we'll be going to next. And this is a first to 3. So no matter what, this series will not end here. If we see Marquis Bagel Shop go into an 0-2 hole, they still have plenty of time for the reverse sweep on that map 3.
Well, we get to load in. We get to see Big Girls, the very famous gas station on Route 66 that everybody knows, of course. There's no refunds, though. Just remember that. I don't know what they're selling there anymore because it looks kind of run down, but you're not getting a refund whatever you do buy. So just remember that when you go to Big Earls. And we'll see if Big Earls is where Anteku will set up or if they'll be a little bit more aggressive with where they want to play as a team. We're seeing that they are going with that Ashe composition with the ball and the Tracer. So we're seeing more Tracer and we're seeing more Wrecking Ball.
That ATM machine at Big Girls, I would not trust it at all. I'm assuming that's just a hacker scam waiting to happen. As we said, Wrecking Balls looks like it's just going to be here to stay. Both teams coming out with their own variation. We saw the D.Va versus Zarya matchup already on Night Market. That matchup seemed to be favored by the team that ran the Zarya, which was Marquis Bagel Shop already. Going to be running that again. The support difference, Zen versus Ana, that anti-nade versus the Discord Orb.
Well, so far the team with the Zenyatta has done a little bit better winning that first map to have that 1-0 lead in Anteku. Marquis Bagel Shop slowly approaching now, and we can see Big Earls is where they are just electing to set up for the side of Anteku. AK-47 getting caught out behind there. Has to be a little bit careful. Nice shot through the D.Va from Polarized to get that headshot. Not going to get any kills just yet, but that's okay. They are staying in control, backing away. The card is still moving, though. They've got to get aggressive in advance here, and that's exactly what Biz does. Gets the kill, and now we'll get control of the cart for the side of Anteku.
Anteku knows exactly what AK-47 was trying to do there. They were trying to boot everyone off that high ground. They just waited and hid away. Now we're going to see AK-47 swap over to that Roadhog. We saw Akademo on the Roadhog earlier. Looked pretty dang good on it on that last lap on Lee Jong. But now the first pick has gone the way of Marquis Bagel Shop in this fight.
So no more Wrecking Ball to be looking to stop from booping you, but Pascal will even things up and gets another shot on. Both supports down by one bloodthirsty support in Pascal.
Zen is a DPS character at the heart of him. I'm a flex support player. It's so much fun. Now AK-47 caught out a bit. They're kind of in no man's land. They're gonna get dived on, but no, instead they're just gonna hold the high ground right now on Anteku, trying to keep that positional advantage.
And they at least are keeping that. The D.Va does fall down in Dusk, but able to stay alive. Oh, so close to losing that mech. Able to keep it up. Has that self-destruct. Bob is going to be out, though, to contest, along with the self-destruct. Walk into Bob or walk into the self-destruct. Either way, somebody's going to go down, and it's Dusk instead. Transcendence gets used by Pascal to keep everybody else alive. Pulse Bomb onto Polarize, and they're looking poised to take this point from Marquis Bagel Shop. Just have to deal with the last few players that are left. That Wrecking Ball still wreaking havoc on that back line and keeping this contested in Kami.
Yeah, there's the whole hog that's gonna get everyone off that point. Kami not gonna last long enough. Dust just gonna touch again and give up their life. And there was a play by Dust there that really got the ball rolling for the other side. They tried using the self-destruct onto the enemy Bob and instead got shot up by Bob. When you throw that mech out like that, as you use the self-destruct, you put yourself at a lot of risk. Marquis Bagel Shop able to play that advantage. Now getting that first point cap and moving forward.
Trying to deal with that Wrecking Ball again, who was caught a little bit away from teammates, but is able to stay alive, and now they can regroup for Anteku and figure out how they want to set up for this Streets phase. Well, the one thing that they want to set up is a great combination from the Zen and the Ashe to take down AK-47, so one less Roadhog, one less pick potential player that you have to deal with from the side of Marquis Bagel Shop. And Marquis Bagel Shop kind of on a flank right now for Akademo. Has to be careful, though, getting a little bit low, but has the mercy to stay alive.
Has the mercy and is able to get the bubble on to their own. Hammond, that's the biggest difference between the D.Va and the Zarya. The Zarya is much better at pocketing on the move character. And look at that, Sleep to take out Vega.
Oh, the Transcendence too late to save Vega too, so you end up wasting that, but you do get the Pulse Bomb stick onto Josh, so maybe a chance to keep this going for the defense, but the res comes through onto Josh, and they're just too much to handle right now for Anteku. They're going to have to concede some of this space, just try and slow this down, and Kami comes back in and will take the Mercy down.
And somehow Anteku, they're turning this fight around. The Bob being committed to on the point, that is going to give them some movement as Bob does move the cart. The counter Bob gonna be coming out. We've seen this twice now. Bob v Bob. What a showdown in the end. And Anteku gonna hold on to that point now. And that Zen play from Pascal, the Transcendence is maybe not what they're looking for, but the snipes and the Discord Orbs have been on point.
Yeah, it was a little bit late just trying to save this left of Mercy, but that's okay. What's not okay anymore, though, is quickly, as we're talking about that, they come back in is Marquis Bagel Shop, and they just clean house. Already 3 players down. The Tracer just trying to stall for as long as possible. And Biz, same thing with Kami on the Wrecking Ball. It's not enough. They will get to this next point. Biz, one last attempt to stop this. Polarize will get a kill, and they've got tanks coming back in, but the Graviton Surge will allow them to get this point, and just missing getting back onto the cart was Dust.
Dust just stepping off for a second. Now they're going to be demech'd and staggered out. No, they're going to just be killed right away. But that gives a lot of free room on this third point for Marquis Bagel Shop. They'll get that first corner because of how late Anteku took that fight. They're going to have to play a little bit more passive as they wait for that respawn. And now Dust swapping off of that D.Va onto a Roadhog of their own.
So Roadhog Ball on one side and Ball and Zarya on the other. I don't know why I kept wanting to say Roadhog, but Dusk playing the Roadhog. I guess so.
The better.
Moon, we just want you all to come back to Overwatch for a little bit, not permanently. That's all. That's why I want to see more Roadhog. Totally why. But either way, on the backside, a stick double kill comes out as a result from Diz, and the defense of Anteku holding strong once they finally do regroup.
Yeah, a lot of point presence given up on this third point, but they are able to get that double stick to really secure them a little bit of breathing room. There are still 2 minutes right now for Marquis Bagel Shop, a great time bank for them. they got to rebuild their ult bank. All they have right now is a Nano. Meanwhile, on the other side, they have a good amount more to work with. Pascal, though, that Transcendence has not been on point so far. They need to use it better.
They definitely do. The Nano Boost available, the Transcendence probably there to cancel out whatever they might try with it. There's the hook in on the side, and Dusk goes down, so early advantage over to Marquis Bagel Shop. And AK-47 staying on that flank, looking for that next hook. Just misses Polarize to have another opportunity, but Kami and Co. still keeping this cart contested, and the mines around it make it difficult for them to really get this cart to advance forward for the side of Marquis Bagel Shop. Marquis Bagel Shop now has to deal with a Bob that's on the point, trying to burn that down quickly, but they're not burning it down quick enough. 2 players go down as a result. Polarize coming alive.
There is the Transcendence being committed, but it's not going to be enough to save the grab from the Nano. Saria right now at Akademo just trying to do their best to save this push, but it's not going to be enough. Pascal going to fall to the pulse bomb, but in the end, Inteco going to hold on to it just a bit longer with 40 seconds left for Marquis Bagel Shop. This is looking for last fight territory. Both teams going to have the Valkyrie online. It might come down to the Roadhog play. We've seen that AK-47 very good at getting those open picks, just looking for that Tracer who's might be looking to die. But no, they're able to get AK-47 out first. Dusk was there for the follow-up.
So now you're down for the side of Marquis Bagel Shop. 6-on-5 fight that you have to take. 12 seconds left. Maybe enough time to wait for AK-47 to come back in, but Thunder Monkey versus Polarize has to be a win for Thunder Monkey. Gets the headshot kill on. The res will come through though. The Bob gets pulled away by Dusk, but now has to run away. Polarize res back into the fight. Dusk has the whole hog, forcing those players on the backside to stay away from the cart, but it's still contested on the front, and Dusk goes down to Thunder Monkey again. Another pick coming through from the Ash. Akademo though lost. AK-47 uses the breather, now has the whole hog to come through, pushing those players off of the cart, trying to get it that last little bit, gets the kill onto Kami. Akademo back in, thanks to the res. Pulse bomb on to AK-47, but he gets a nano boost to stay alive and takes out the Diva Mech, but they get off carts! They don't stay on!
Oh, that fight was going the way of Marquis Bagel Shop, but no one is there to make sure they're on the point. So close to hitting that full cap, but in the end, they give it up for free.
Man.
Oh, that's
rough.
It's so rough for them. That fight was going so well. They killed Pascal before they could get the Transcendence. They're able to save AK-47 with a very well-timed nano, canceling out the pulse bomb we saw come out from Inteco. All of that great team play for not in the end.
They still have a good win condition though, right? I mean, they push almost to the end, so it's still good.
The worst scenario though is that if you cap and the other team caps with less than a minute, it puts you still in a really good position. Now there is no extra rounds. There is no potential for that. This is either going to be a win or a loss, no matter what. Go big or go home on this defense that they're going to find themselves on. And Inteco, they know their win condition. They know how far they have to get it, almost to the end, but not quite. So that gives them a little bit of an advantage of how they play it, how they build up their ult bank, how they use it.
We did see Marquis Bagel Shop though, very, no time wasted picking their defense. They're going to hold on Big Earls. They're going with the Ash, they're going with the Tracer, and they're starting off with Roadhog this time. No Wrecking Ball this time at all.
Gonna be looking to hook Kami out of anything they're trying to do, get all that CC ability to get that Wrecking Ball down on the side of Inteco. Dusk on the Sigma. This is a very peculiar pick. I think they're going to be looking to shield off Big Earls, make sure that there is no spam damage coming in, but it doesn't matter when there's an AK-47 on the flank.
Using a scrap gun shotgun, but that's okay. He uses it to great effect for AK-47, has control of the high ground, now pulling Dusk up, getting that extra damage in, takes a breather to heal through all the dynamite damage too, but you also have the dynamite not going towards the rest of the team, so only one player getting hit with it instead of multiple, building up a little bit. Solar for Polarize and gets picked in by AK-47 again! A double kill for AK-47!
I said it before, it's just AK-47's world and everyone else is living in it right now. The Reinhardt, not the pick, but this Wrecking Ball and this Roadhog have been phenomenal so far. Already a minute off the clock, and Teku not able to get past that bridge. They're worried about the flank. They're worried about that Roadhog who's just cooking everyone right now.
And this is already a much better defense, but this time they focus specifically on AK-47, knowing he's on that high ground on an island. Take him out, and now they start to move the cart towards that corner around Big Earls, and Thundermonkey, the DPS who's been keeping them in these fights, out too. It's going to be a really tough recontest here for Marky's Bagel Shop.
This is where the Zen play is really impressive. Not only is Pascal getting those shots in, the Discord Orb has been purposely used to focus down the targets the team is trying to kill. So even though a great start from Marky's Bagel Shop, they find themselves in a bad position as they try to take this high ground.
Oh, what a hook to come through, too, from AK-47. Has to run to the cart, though, is almost going to be completed. The mines take him out, and now you have the Gravitic Flux. Pull some players up into the air. Good focus down with the Hyperspheres, too, from Dusk. They get a res in, but this is all about stall right now for Marky's Bagel Shop. They have lost this fight. They have lost control of the point. 4 minutes to get through the streets phase for Anteku.
I was really questioning Dusk pick on the Sigma, but it paid off so well there. We saw that the Flux was used to zone out the enemy team, but that rock that stunned AK-47 out of their whole hog was a huge play by Dusk. Now they've got that second point. They are rolling through, but they don't have the high ground. They're trying to rotate and take it.
Well, I guess if you get a kill like that, and Pascal just throwing out these orbs, getting all of this chip damage in, and Polarize following it up with the hit scan damage, they have gained control. I can't even say it. They're containing Marky's Bagel Shop.
That was a late nano that's going to be used on AK-47. Not able to do much when there's an entire team focusing you down. And now they're going to be swapping to a Zen of their own. A bit of a mirror sweep to say, hey, we see you on the Zen. Let's see what we can do with it. Pascal has built up another Transcendence in the meantime. And there's a grab right now that Akademo is looking for. And now there's no anti to cancel that Trance's healing.
They need to have a good hold here for this side of Marky's Bagel Shop. You don't want a massive time bank going into the final part of this map for this side of Anteku. Throws that the Bob out behind does Marky's Bagel Shop, keeping those players back, but there's a Bob on either side. Polarize is doing a little bit better, and Biz on the other end with Kami getting 2 kills as well. Stick on to Pearston as well, and now they will have this point of theirs for free with 4 minutes to try and get to the golden box of victory.
Don't even have to use the Transcendence from Pascal. Now they swapped over to a different comp. They're going to swap who's playing the Roadhog. So Akademo going back to the Roadhog. We saw this on that last point of Lee Jong on Gardens. Now, swapping. So now they're playing a bit of musical chairs, and this is where it gets tricky. There's only 350, or not only, there's a lot of time left for this offense. They can roll through this attack on this third point. They have ultimates built up. If you swap, you lose an ult bank.
They don't have an ult bank right now, and there's 3 ultimates on the side of Anteku, and they already have this cart approaching that golden box. They've gotten around that difficult corner at the beginning, so you don't even get that early hold for the side of Marky's Bagel Shop. Players trading out, though. AK-47 going down, Polarize goes down too, but the res will come in to bring Polarize back in. Pearston Hill on that backside, just avoiding the mines in front. They're keeping their distance between. Dusk will grab one with that Gravitic Flux, get the kill afterwards onto Akademo, has now matched him, mirrored him on that Sigma 2, and their cart's starting to advance again, but Polarize going down. Transcendence used by Pascal, trying to save players, but can't get to Kami in time as a trans that goes to waste.
Yes, another Transcendence from the side of Anteku that doesn't get the value they're looking for. That was a huge fight to win on the side of Marky's Bagel Shop. They didn't have much going into that. Now they've built up ults of their own. Anteku using so much and finding so little value. They're going to have to take dry fights now. And we've seen this before. They get a bit impatient when they need to be a bit passive.
Polarize on Anteku. They're rotating around, trying to get up to that high ground to contest again. Last time they had to try and contest high ground, they did it flawlessly to take control of it, but Thundermonkey has a Bob that is ready to go whenever needed. Getting really low, able to use the coach gun to not be taken out by the pile driver. Thundermonkey hit with the accretion rock, the pulse bomb stick, try Pascal gets the kill onto the Josh, though. Transcendence has to be used by Periston Hill. Heals up those players out on that front side. Now backing around the corner, Kami goes down. AK-47 with those mines, looking to maybe drop in. Those players stuck in that little room where the health pack is. We'll just throw some chip damage in and back away. This is going very, very well for the side of Marky's Bagel Shop. They've gotten this time bank down to 1:40.
Yeah, 2 minutes off the clock already. And they did not commit the mines there, which I think is huge on their side. Look at this ult bank they built up now. 4 ults, only having to commit the bottom, the Transcendence. And take it, they have some stuff to work with as well, but their Transcendences just have not gotten as much value as we saw there from Periston Hill.
Not having a bomb, though, could be a big difference in this fight since Marky's Bagel Shops, they are pretty far from theirs. Thunder Monkey used theirs in that last one. AK-47 grabbing that health pack, now swinging back around in, trying to get up where the Zenyatta is, and Pascal can't quite do it, and now is caught in the teeth of the team of Antiku. Has to wait now. They know where he is, though, so they're just trying to keep him away from Pascal.
Trying their best, and now the mines are going to be committed from both sides. Here's Flux coming out, and they're looking for it, but they can't figure out where to do it. They're going to find it on the enemy Sigma, and this fight already going to Marky's Bagel Shop. The Sigma Flux being committed last second. Maybe a misplay might cost them in the end, as there's going to be a reset from Antiku. They didn't use the bomb. They did not use the Transcendence. They almost have the Flux. There is room to work with right now for the side of Antiku.
Oh, look at this.
Have one fight, though.
They had AK-47 purposely hit the mines, too, to build up Periston Hill's Transcendence. It's already to 90%. Smart play coming out from the side of Marky's Bagel Shop so they can match Pascal's trans that is available, too. Now just trying to deal with AK-47 is the side. Oh, but they lose AK-47. Biz goes down as well, but they still have the trans in the back pocket. Stick from Josh gets the kill onto Polarize. Goes down himself, but that's okay. Might have done enough. Polarize has to be res back in. We know who has the closer spawn. Oh, but the Gravitic Flux from Dusk pulls the Transcendence up and then gets the kill on the ground onto Akodemo. Res coming back in. Biz with that pulse bomb trying to stick it on. Misses. Players alive on either side, but it's starting to go for Marky's Bagel Shop. Polarized on the back line, trying to stay alive, staying away from those players. Overtime meter starts to go away. Dynamite is huge, but it's not enough. It's just a Tracer on the points, and it's going to be a 1-1 game because Marky's Bagel Shop holds them on the side of Antiku to even this up.
No cap, no problem in the end. Marky's Bagel Shop not getting that third point, but it's not gonna matter. They still win the map. A great third point defense to set them up with that win. 1-1 on the series. It comes down to that first fight on that third point. There was so much that Antiku had to use. They had a very nice ult bank going into that fight, and Marky's Bagel Shop win without almost using anything. And from there, Antiku just put themselves at such a disadvantage. They almost got back in it to the end, but not able to.
Not able to win cleanly because there was a point where there was an advantage for a little bit for Antiku, and they just couldn't capitalize on it quick enough. And then respawners come back in for Marky's Bagel Shop. But I mean, wow, what a first two maps that we've had. It's been close the entire way, and we're not done yet. We've still got to get one of these teams to 3, and it's going to be a wild ride to get there. We'll take a timeout, and then when we come back, we'll see who can get themselves an advantage and maybe get match points.
There's spawn door. What the
Dude, Barkin, I wanted to so badly that you were like, be another spawn door, and I was like, yes, I have someone else to blame.
How to hit him with the spawn cap. Oh, look at it! Look at it!
I wish we were lobby hosts so I could go map.
Is there like an actual difference from expensive candles and cheap candles, or like should I not waste my money on expensive candles?
It depends on what you're trying to do with the candle.
Just smell nice. It's supposed to smell nice in my room.
Yeah, I'd say there's probably a difference, but not enough to make you
but
really
for vanilla. For vanilla is like expensive vanilla.
Probably just get whatever.
Or not expensive, but like a $5 candle and a $1 candle. Like,
I'm gonna
is
say
there really?
I'm gonna say a $1 candle cuts enough corners to be bad, but a $5 candle at least has like some things that are good. Okay. That's my 2 cents. That being said, I've never bought a candle before.
I barely bought candles, and I surprisingly like them.
Yeah,
They're
it's
nice.
like scented yeah, I got like a scented candle like a while back for something. It's just like, oh, this is pleasant. But also, it's like, it's just a candle, I guess.
Yo, green arrow. You there? Yo, green arrow.
He's muting and unmuting. He's here.
he's
It was like Morse code.
It was like Morse code. Yeah, it was like Morse code. Oh, I can't read Morse code. I'm sorry.
Flashing SOS, guys.
What is
it?
Okay, at my bombs play, this angle was pretty clean on the bomb, I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, that was so fucking weird.
Guys, I have a death I'm throwing.
They need, if they want to win, they need to stop trolling with.
Yeah, you're mad.
Fire, you are so mad.
Yeah, wow, look at him press Q, guys. Wow. Unlike me, I have to actually like aim it, but no, you can just press it in the vicinity and oh, everybody's dead. Wow, great play, Bontour.
Academy, they lay down the shatter, let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%. Right now with Hydra building up to this Mirror Barrage so quickly. Oh, and asking.
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact se escucha de baja gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We've got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go, figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting until it's for sure lost. Winnable!
Tired of the competitive grind and random teammates? Want to put your team to the test against opponents of similar SR?
Go.
Ever been told to get good, but felt like you were never given the chance? Introducing our Get Good tournament, open to PC and console teams in NA and EU region. Our goal is to provide you with an environment that will push your team play and individual skills to new heights and an opportunity to make new friends along the way. Our divisions range from beginner to unlimited, and the tournament will start off with a 5 to 6 week group stage in Swiss format, ending in a 2-week long playoff bracket. You can even be showcased live as we stream matches with talented casters every week on Twitch. The winner for each division is crowned champion and will get a fancy champion's role. Get Good signups will start on October 5th, with the tournament starting on the 23rd for PC and the 24th for console. And if you don't have a team yet, but would like to experience playing in a team, fear not. Solo player signups is a team building service offered by Elohel Esports in preparation for our Get Good tournament. Sign up on your own and you will be put into a team of 6. Solo player signups are open right now. Go to elohel.gg/getgood for more information and to sign up for the real 6v6 experience.
So you queue up for Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elohel pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh, no! Kill! Let's go.
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help. I'm with you. Shoot.
No way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then 2 captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elohel Pickup Games Discord and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
Everybody, Big Hungry Phil here with a note of thanks to Opinion Outpost for sponsoring the Trial of Champions. Want to make some extra cash? Well, earn money through Opinion Outpost by just sharing your opinion. All you've got to do is fill out some surveys. You can make money while watching streams, queuing for a game, or even waiting for your teammates to group up for one final overtime push on the point. Use Opinion Outpost to get that skin you've always wanted. There's nothing better than treating yourself to some well-deserved loot boxes after a long competitive grind. Visit the link to start making money today.
It's a 1-1 tie between Anteku and Marky's Bagel Shop. Labasco here. I've got Jag with me. We're getting ready for map number 3. And we know at least that we're going to Hollywood. Marky's Bagel Shop is now going to be our team on defense. So teams are switching sides once again. But I mean, my gosh, every game's super close. And Hollywood, we know, I think we're starting to see a trend of what we might end up seeing here.
Absolutely. It seems like that Hammond Roadhog has been appearing a lot. Different variations, sometimes not played together, sometimes played of other things, but both these main tank players battling it out on those interesting heroes. And we saw that in Take-It, they got the better of it on Lijiang Tower. Super close, 199. Then Marky's Bagel Shop, it was just a battle of inches, but we're able to secure that last map that we saw. So close on Route 66. It comes down to just 1 or 2 plays in the end. We talked about it, that Inteku had a big lead going into that third point on their attack, then kind of squandered it. They used too many ults in a losing fight where Marky's Bagel Shop didn't use anything. Were able to build up their own ult economy, and Marky's Bagel Shop just able to give a hold on that third point after C9ing on their own attack. Lijiang Tower, just a few misplays by Marky's Bagel Shop. This is such a close game. It's a battle of inches.
I mean, with the amount of time Anteku had going into that final point, you thought that it was going to be really difficult for Marky's Bagel Shop to have a chance at actually winning that point and taking it forward. And for Anteku, like, this has sort of been the story right now, at least in this game, is where they will have an advantage that looks pretty significant, and then they won't be able to hold it to win out on a point that's going to win them the game. They managed to barely do it on Lijiang Tower, but here we saw Route 66 not able to do it. They choose Hollywood, though. This is their map choice, I think, is one thing to point out here, though. So maybe a map that they'll be a little bit more comfortable than some of the maps we've been seeing.
Yeah, it's been Marky's Bagel Shop's pick up until this point. They got to pick the first map because they were the higher seed, got to pick the second map because they lost the first map. So take of choosing for the first time today. I'm sure they would have preferred not to pick at all in this series, how things were going. You nailed it right on the head. In Taku, they have the advantage and maybe getting impatient. They throw things out a little bit too soon, aren't able to collapse on those ultimates that are used. The Transcendence comes in a bit late, so a little difference there. Too early, too late. Just not able to execute as a team on that last map. We saw Route 66 not able to get the job done. Now, they want to take that lead back. They've only been tied or ahead so far. They don't want to be falling behind.
I think the one good thing that if you look at it that way for Antico is like we've had such big advantages, we just need to follow through with them, right? Like that is something that they can at least have as like a feather in the cap, right? Is like we are creating massive advantages for ourselves, even if we're not completing them.
Yeah, I think whoever is the shot caller has to be, hey, slow down, relax, know what we're doing. Just make sure that we're on the same page about how to do it. You know, if you throw the bob in a bit too early and the rest of the team isn't set up on that, it can be very difficult to actually get what you want accomplished.
Right. They want to get this bread that's for those final few teams. So, you know, maybe have a little snack right now, right? We had that little break. Get yourself a snack, you know, relax a little bit and get ready for map number 3, which Hollywood, we you know, there's definitely more ball that can be played on Hollywood if that's what they want to do. We know that there is a lot of hit scan DPS that gets played there. Specifically, we've seen a lot of Ashe get played there in recent time, or Widowmaker, especially on Streets Phase. So there's a lot that they can do for Anteku that they might be, you know, that they would feel comfortable playing if they want to go with it.
Speaking of what people are comfortable playing, we're going to be talking about the Gun Game Arena Tournament very briefly. The top 16 teams have designated someone to play in this tournament. It's going to be 16 of the best and brightest in the Trial Champions going at it, trying to get a $100 cash prize. That's going to be coming up later on in this tournament. That should be a lot of fun. But going back to Hollywood, as you said, Streets Phase is very different than first phase. That high ground control is so important, especially if you're on the defense. That Widowmaker has amazing sightlines. We haven't seen a Widow in this series yet. A lot of Ashe Tracer, but you can swap that Ashe to a Widow, try to go for the dinks instead of the dynamites.
Yeah, you could see, we saw in Overwatch League on Hollywood, we saw a lot of Hanzo Ashe or Widow Hanzo get played on the Streets Phase specifically. So those are options for those teams if they so choose. Obviously, that was a bit of a different patch than what we have right now that they were playing on. But as far as those heroes, they haven't changed really since the Overwatch League finals as far as the patch that they were on. So those are options that both teams can have in the back pocket. We're just waiting to load into map here, which we should be here very shortly. The other thing too, you were talking about the Gun Game tournament coming with all of a player from each of the top 16 teams. I'm excited for that. Is there a player that you specifically want to see in something like that?
I'd love to see Josh. I think Josh has really stepped it up today on that Tracer role. We saw that didn't work as well in the beginning, but now it seems that they have been doing very well. See if they can. We don't know all the people that have been chosen for that tournament. Team's still deciding, so we will have a list of that at some point once it starts. That isn't going to be on it till after today. There will be a 2-day break between today's games and the next round of games, which will be Wednesday, which that's when the tournament will be starting up for that Gun Game Arena $100 prize. Now, moving to Hollywood, and are we going to see the Reinhardt from AK-47 again?
Ooh. Reinhardt, and we're getting the Tracer and the Sombra for the DPS. We've seen a bunch of this comp before, and you have the Moira and the Lucio being the choices for the support. So this composition, I mean, obviously a Rush style comp and very specific what they want to do.
They don't have that Reaper though, that upfront damage that the Reaper provides. Instead, they have the Tracer again on the flank. We saw a variation of this on Lijiang Control Center. It did not work out in their favor. Now, Josh has to put more pressure on Anteku than he was able to previously.
We'll see how it works out for them. We're going to see Thunder Monkey go for that hack at the beginning, just translocate away. And now Kami getting set up behind here, waiting for that opportunity to come around on that wrecking ball. AK-47 controlling the high ground, swinging every now and then, eating some damage. And you can see them starting to transition over onto the point. Pascal still playing on that Zenyatta, throws that orb out, that Discord orb. Looks like he might have got it on the Tracer, but either way, Thunder Monkey's the one who's going to go down first. Viz will be taken out by Josh on the flank, and Light is set up on the high ground for the side of Antiku. This is the spot you want your Ashe to be, while you have your Tracer wrecking havoc along the side, but they are having a little bit of trouble keeping that. Dusk trying to deal with that Zarya, and it's pretty even so far, but now Antiku gets an advantage.
It's really hard to push on to this point if you're running that Wrecking Ball against a Reinhardt. That shield gives you so much better point presence on the side of Marquis BagelShop, but still, Light just going ham on this Ashe, finding the shots they need. Not getting the first tip, though. The has been great right now for Marquis BagelShop.
Yeah, it's a losing fight for them for the most part, although AK-47 is behind enemy lines, starting to come back to the point. They have a coalescence too to lead them in, and now they've got players reconvening on the point. They still have to try and deal with the high ground is the only problem. Light is in control of that and is about to get a Bob.
Bob online, will they commit it? They lost Dust, so no D.Va. It looks like Antiku might have to back out completely and do a reset. Wow. Able to finish up that fight, and AoE heals, that's what they're there for. The longer it goes on with that Lucio and that Moira, the better chance you have on the side of the defenders.
Not only that, they didn't get that second pick, so that's actually a pretty big loss. But now they can throw Bob out. Kami will throw the mines out, but dies immediately. They do manage to take out Graham, who was about to get to that sound barrier, but Josh with the pulse bomb double kill. I think he threw it into the Graviton surge from Akademo, who goes down. But this back and forth fight going to favor the attacking team. They're able to clear the point off, and they will be able to complete this cap. Oh, Thunder Monkey down to just him and the D.Va, able to pull the D.Va off. This stall might be enough time for players to come back, and now they get the D.Va out of back.
They are going to get the remake because they used the bomb, and again, they're not upping the objective. They had people there, but Marquis BagelShop still putting on a good defense, a lot longer than most would have probably thought they could hold on to it. And now the Shatter being used.
AK-47 crazily going in, manages to help his team get two good kills. We'll see if AK-47 switches as a result of this too. Yep, going over to the Wrecking Ball. That was nuts, though. He still managed to turn it into something for his team.
Yeah, that is going to be a little bit of a delay for the attackers now on that cart after waiting a second to get those members back that died. Right now, Marquis BagelShop, they will have this high ground, so they will have that positional advantage. Meanwhile, on the other side, you're just going to have to see Antiku try to play the cart and get it as far as possible. Vega does have that Mercy Valkyrie online, but the beat going to be committed first.
Pascal will be able to get the kill onto Josh. Sound barrier to keep everybody else alive, though, for Marquis BagelShop. But Pascal with a triple kill on the Zenyatta. Now looking for the Lucio. He is so good on this Zen. He is so bloodthirsty.
Vega is known for their support play, especially on the Mercy, and this is why a perfectly timed Valkyrie, the EMP was committed, but it did not get that Valk offline, able to keep the rest of the team alive. Pascal able to go to work, and now also been built up on the side of Antiku. They have that Bob again, and Light has been dominant with it.
Swaps coming out too for Marquis BagelShop. Akademo has gone over to the Sigma, gets thrown into the air by the pile driver. Even on either side, but the res will bring Dusk back into the fight. They still have some players nearby for Marquis BagelShop to contest, but they've got to try and deal with Pascal, who's being sure to make that he can get those right clicks charged up. And they've actually kind of been forced back. They finally get a touch here a little bit late. A lot of damage eaten up by AK-47. Can't survive for long. And Pascal able to grab that health pack around the corner, come back and get a kill. And then Trans on top of it to make sure his team gets the point.
Trance to keep yourself alive. It is a big play. They might regret not having it later, but it worked out in the end, able to keep the rest of the team alive, as you said. And now Biz, we're going to see them on the Reaper. Going to be going for a little bit more of that brawly attack, but how can we run this with mobile tanks?
That's going to be the tough thing that they're going to have to try and do, but mobile tanks has been working out so far. For the side of Antiku, they've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds to try and complete the map. They almost have another set of mines. Josh goes down to a shot from Light. And Marquis BagelShop, they're just trying to regroup together finally. And now you'll have coming down AK-47, drop those mines, stall things out with the Bob.
They're going to stall things out, but they're not going to get the kills they're looking for. The rest of Antiku backed up around the corner. The Zen is on the high ground, and now Bob has been melted. So ultimate's used by Marcus Bagel Shop, but not getting much value.
Not getting much value. All they did was create time. That's it. Self-destruct thrown into a corner. Able to avoid it, though, is Marky's Bagel Shop. Even things up. A player down on either side. But it's the Mercy being lost for the defense. Might be the bigger loss. Have the Vile Driver coming in. The cart's still moving towards that VIP box. And the defense finally starting to stabilize. Thundermonkey onto the Ash. Quick 2 kills.
The way you said that was perfect. No value, but a lot of time killed off. So sometimes it's just about the zoning. They zone it very well and were able to take that fight later on. Tommy going a bit too far in the backline. And again, they used a lot, did not get anything out of it on the side of Anteku, and ultimates that were built up by Marky's Bagel Shop in the meantime are spectacular. With only a minute 30 on the clock and an opening pick on to Kami. Things are looking good for the defenders.
Pulse Bomb kill 2 will just stall things out even more. Another 10 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, and every second is counting. We saw that in Taku. They had a very good attack on the last map, had 4 minutes going into it, and they were not able to get the job done. Looks like we're going to see some decision there, and there's the Bob given it after the Ash dies.
So the Bob up on the high ground. Bob gets bursted down. Both players who went down get rezzed into the fight, but the Bob will allow high ground control for Anteku. They are up there. Kami can't get back into the room, rolling back in even with the Mercy healing. Can't do so, and they don't have the res available. They've got to try and back away and figure out how they want to attack for Anteku.
Biz has finally built up that Reaper roll, but it took them so long. They're just not able to follow up on kills as the mobile DPS on the side of Marky's Bagel Shop, but there is what they might need. The Death Blossom not going to find anything, but 2 picks to start it off.
2 picks made this have a chance here. Pascal using the Transcendence gets pulled up in by the Gravitic Flux. Accretion Rock missing. Academo just trying to stay alive, hiding behind those mines, has very little bit of life left. Have players coming back in. Mines there being cleared out by the Transcendence. And Academo is able to get 1 kill in. They've got players coming back out. Respawners back in for the defense. Thundermonkey has switched over to the Doomfist. Looking for the rocket punch in, but he goes down. The self-destruct, the difference.
Dust's self-destruct, getting both those supports down. Thundermonkey had to hide until the last second, and they knew exactly where that Doomfist was gonna be coming from. And Techo this time, able to finish the map, but with 0 time in their time bank.
This is nuts, the way that ended for Anteku, because they started to lose some players, but that self-destruct coming out from Dusk. Dusk on the D.Va. You can see why Dusk favors the D.Va at the very least.
Yeah, there were some really good peels from Dusk. I saw that they peeled for Pascal when they were on that high ground, trying to make sure that Zen doesn't die. Just, you want to create a bit of chaos. Wrecking Ball a bit better at it with all that mobility constantly, but D.Va can do a good job at displacing heroes as well. Generally, we've seen Dusk use that D-Mech bomb as a way to just get another mech, but there, use it aggressively, zone out the enemies, clear the point, and got 2 very important kills with it. So a great play by Dusk to help secure that point. Now, Marky's Bagel Shop. It looks like for a second they were able to get a hold on that last point, but in the end, just not able to get it done. They're in the flip scenario from last map. They're going to be attacking second. They know that they have to cap to at least have a chance of winning.
Just looking at it right now for the side of Anteku, I mean, sure, you do it in overtime, but the fact that you actually got their improvement from last time, and they had less time to get through that final part of the map here on Hollywood, so very tall task ahead for Marky's Bagel Shop. We'll see how the first point hold compares to what Marky's Bagel Shop did, because they had a very good first point hold. Their Streets phase, not quite as impressive. So starting off, Thundermonkey already on that Ash, just spamming damage out onto that high ground.
Biz not on the Reaper this time, which I think is a very smart play. That Reaper took so long to get an ultimate and just not find the value they were looking for with the composition they were running. Now they can just cause havoc in the background, and already we're seeing that Academo falling very low, but AK-47 going to fall all the way down.
Got stuck in the cafe, could not get out, and, well, it wasn't coffee waiting for him there, that's for sure. So he's going to have to come back from spawn. Harrison Hill getting a lot of damage in, but is being outpaced by Pascal significantly. Player goes down to an Academo, but Thundermonkey gets a double kill onto 1 support and a DPS, so still a chance here for them to come in for Marky's Bagel Shop.
Tommy's gonna isolate the ball in the room, and now Thunder Monkey gonna take out the Tracer after they use the Pulse Bomb. This fight slowly is turning in the favor of Marquis Bagel Shop. They finally get the first tick. They have the Bob online. Will they commit it to take this point fully?
Well, we'll see if they decide to. They know that there's still players inside of Cafe. They are controlling outside, and they do manage to get this take, able to at least force those players back. We'll see if they go for an early defense for the side of Anteku. They have retreated, though. They need to get everybody together.
Right now, we're seeing that Dusk is not able to be everywhere at all times. That DM is so valuable, and sometimes just being a little bit too far away can be all it takes for the enemy team to get a pick. Now, they're going to have that high ground advantage. We talked about it on the other team's attack. They took the high ground and then immediately dropped down because they have the EMP. No EMP in sight for Anteku, no Sombra. They have the Bob. They could still engage with that. We could see dueling Bobs come out.
Well, Anteku keeping control of high ground, most important for them to have a successful defense. Coming in is AK-47, but he misses with his swing extremely low and gets finished off by the micro missiles at the end. 2 players going down on either side, though. You also had the Bob being committed in from Light, and this cart stalled out at least for the moment, but now the self-destruct is thrown.
The Transcendents have to be committed by Pariston Hill to keep themselves alive from the bombs. So that's a huge ultimate use there on the side of Marquis Bagel Shop, one they might want back, but they're going to keep this rolling for a little bit longer.
And now they've got their Bob and Aqua Demo. Hello, Pascal! Oh, nice healing, though, to keep him alive at the very least. So, not able to get the kill on his little secret agent Roadhog flank. Doesn't work out that time, and instead, it's going to be the defense finally grasping control here on this Streets phase.
You can't play Roadhog like a flanker here. You have to play them on the part. It's so hard to be going up and trying to take this high ground. If you're Akademo, you're going to get turned on immediately. That's exactly what happened. The peel was there from the Mercy. Pascal's not going to fall. You play that card, though. It's very hard for the defenders to try to come down. They will be scared of getting hooked.
Very, very fearful. They don't have the Roadhog on their end. Akademo, though, doesn't have anything to really protect him is the only thing, because AK-47 just wasn't there yet. So now we'll be walking towards that cart once again. You can see Proving with that pulse bomb, and getting the kill was Biz. So that will cause the res to come out from Graham. And now they try to fight for this high ground for the side of Marquis Bagel Shop. The whole hog keeping this cart moving.
Yeah, but you can't heal when you're an old hog, and there was the flank from behind taking them down. Now the trade coming out too. One tank gone on either side. Light is going to commit the Bob, and the res is going to come in for Kami. This is looking good for the defenders, but it's not won quite just yet. And with that pick, now I can say pretty decisively it has been won.
Yeah, Thunder Monkey is a threat as long as Thunder Monkey's alive. Thunder Monkey goes down, and so does the rest of Marquis Bagel Shop.
A great peel there from Akademo, who's now swapped onto the Diva to make sure that their Tracer gets out alive. Josh falling so low, but will not be dead. The alt banks once again, and Teiko has a lot to work with, but Marquis Bagel Shop, they have the Bob on the line. They got to make sure not to overcommit here on the side of Anteku. They've done it so many times and then lost the next fight.
They've gone to mirroring too from Marquis Bagel Shop. They've gone and switched AK-47 over to the ball. Akademo, of course, we know now being on the Diva. But now there's multiple self-destruct and mines that they have to deal with, and it's already 2 players down. Great control on top from Anteku.
Ultimate is gonna get 1 pick there, but that's just, you want to get more out of them, right? You don't want to get a mines that only 1. You want to get more than that, and that's both tank ultimates being thrown out the window by Anteku. They will win that fight, and with a minute left, maybe that's all they need. They're killing time. They're taking space. It's okay if they give up this point. They already full cap, so they know that holding 3rd point is really what they need to do at the end of the day.
Oh, nice shot from Thunder Monkey to give an advantage over to Marquis Bagel Shop. So they force out the res early on, but they lose Graham instead on the other side. Transcendence gets committed in from both teams. Thunder Monkey goes down to Light, and Light on the high ground still keeping control. Has that Bob that can be thrown out whenever, but AK-47 and Josh able to get 2 kills back.
question is, will they commit the Bob here? And they will. So that'll give them point presence even if the rest of the team plays the high ground. Finding out AK-47 is a great way to start. They could demech the D.Va and maybe stagger her out. That would be huge for the defenders.
They have the advantage too as far as the spawn. Dusk losing mech here though could spell disaster in the next fight.
Seeing that Akko Demo is also not in mech, is gonna get it back in the nick of time, but will they be able to use it? No, they won't. That is gonna be a fight they're gonna have to take without the D.Va on the side of Marquis Bagel Shop. There is still a D.Va for Dust, but it looks like they're gonna get it back just
Gonna get it right now, yeah. Yep, so now it's all down to this. The res is going to come out on the lane on the high ground. Players do manage to get the touch. Periston goes down to Biz on the back line. Josh will come back and get Pascal, so no Zenyatta's in this fight. You have the Valkyrie in the air from Graham, which ends now. AK-47 dropping the mines onto the cart. Players swinging in. One player going down to the mines being destroyed, but AK-47 keeping that on the cart. Gets there just in time, and they will keep this map going.
No C9 this time around. AK-47 able to touch in the nick of time. Gonna give their life, but the spawn is gonna be very advantageous for the attackers right now. It is that door right on the right. So now they're gonna demech Dusk, able to kill off that BB D.Va. They're keeping this map alive. Not a lot in the time bank, depending on how far they get this point. Maybe 1 or 2 fights left, but keeping themselves alive is the most important thing right now.
AK-47 under the high ground too. 50 seconds left. They got that kill right at the end too, so Biz will be joining in a little bit late. That means high ground control will be over to Marquis Bagel Shop.
They are going to get that high ground, and they have a Bob ready to go. Light just a little bit behind, but have it online. So Thunder Monkey has been winning this tool over and over again, and that's the res being burned early on.
Has the Bob too, like you said. Just waiting, gets the shot onto the Tracers. They fall from the high ground, gets a shot onto the Valkyrie Mercy, throws the Bob onto the point. And now you've got to try and contest with the Bob, who's hit in there. Bob v. Bob now. There's a lot of damage coming onto the Bob on the side of the red team, though, and Taku not able to throw as much damage in the cart. Moving towards the end of the map. Nobody on the cart here with 8 seconds left. Somebody's got to get to the cart. They've got to make sure they touch. Don't do that again, please, Marquis Bagel Shop. They've got mines available here for the end. Overtime meter starts now. Pile driver coming in a second. Throw the mines out. Make it where it's difficult to get to the cart, but the defense is holding strong for Antaku. Those players being lost. AK-47 gets a kill, but that's all they can do is swing around the cart. The overtime meter will go. It will be a 2-1 lead for Antaku. They get the job done on Hollywood.
Get the job done and are sticking to the script. They won their last match 3-1. Why make it any different here in the winners quarterfinals, and Taku coming out on top? Another very close map. Just inches, a battle of inches between here and also what we saw on Route 66. Both times that golden box of victory just in the sight of the team that attacked second. But only one was able to get the job done. Actually, neither of them were able to on that second attack. In the end, the team that attacked first was winning both maps. So maybe you want to attack first. Maybe that's a strategy going forward for either team.
Yeah, shocker too that Pascal's the player of the game, or gets like player or play of the game, not player of the game, play of the game. The game's not over yet, right? So, but gets the play of the game to give the 2-1 lead to Antaku. They definitely looked a lot better there on Hollywood than we've seen them look on some of the other maps, especially defensively.
Yeah, their defense, although they did give up that second point in what was a fight they might have been able to win, it's all about that third point. They knew what they knew what they needed to do to win. We talked about that right before it happened. Yeah, exactly. Could give a little bit to get a lot, and in the end, they had ultimates built up for that last fight. We saw that Marquis Bagel Shop almost C9 that point twice. I was like holding my breath there for a second before mine went down. Even with presence on the point, not able to get that map win. And Taku up 2-1, looking for that last map to secure themselves another map in the winner's bracket.
Yeah, so have to be happy with that at the very least. We know that the side swap's coming again, and Taku will go to the defense. Anubis will be our next map, and well, if you're playing Wrecking Ball on that map, it's a little bit harder. There's not as much space to kind of swing around with, but it's not that you can't play, it's just a lot more difficult.
Yeah, that first point for the attackers, you can run that wrecking ball, just kind of run him down the middle and have him touch the point. That might draw the rest of the defense back, and then you split them up, and that can work out. Defense, don't see it working out as well. The Winston probably, if you're going to run a dive main tank, but still not optimal unless you're trying to hold that top high grounds and then just jump on down.
Yeah, so Winston style of compositions, maybe what we see for the defense. As far as the DPS, does that mean we're getting a switch up there? We've seen so much Ashe and so much Tracer. Do you stop that? I don't think you do necessarily, just because of the map switch.
Widow can be very valuable here on the attacker side and the defender side. You just have to play your angles, but it's a shooting gallery for her. As long as you have that extra bit of pocket, maybe from a Mercy or even a Zenor can be enough to help. We could see that duel come out with snipers, but so far these teams have been pretty repetitive with the DPS lineups we've seen. As you said, that Tracer has been played more than anything today. Tracer Ashe seems to be what these teams want to be running.
Yeah.
You can still run the Ashe at long distance.
I'm okay with seeing the Tracer Ashe though. Like as far as like DPS that I like to play, those are like two of my top ones. I want to see Soldier a little bit. I'm biased there because I used to play Soldier all the time, but I know we're not going to. But like, I wouldn't complain if we did, you know, that sort of a thing. But as far as the compositions we've seen, there has been a lot of variation from the tanks specifically, it feels like.
Yeah, and with that Soldier buff that came out pretty recently, it's pretty shocking that we have not seen any Soldier yet. If you have not been playing Overwatch as of late, Soldier has had a change to the way that his gun works. Instead of a random spread, it has recoil that is controllable. So a lot of FPS players, CSGO fans especially, maybe a fan of that. Call of Duty fans as well. You know, Soldier just goes zoom with his primary fire, but none of that today just yet. That Ashe, her Dynamite got nerfed pretty recently, but still viable. Her primary fire has always been great. It's the kind of that go in between the middle of versus McCree, long distance enough to work out, and you're not as much of a glass cannon as you would be on McCree.
Yeah, so plenty that you can still do for the DPS and the supports. Pascal. I mean, that's the talk there, right? Is the Zenyatta Pascal is, I mean, kill after kill after kill. Transcendence were much better on Hollywood than on the previous map too. So Pascal making a big difference for Anteco.
Yeah, I wonder maybe if Pascal heard us and was like, oh man, I got to step it up a little bit here. The Transcendence is definitely coming in better there. And we saw that originally Marky's Bagel Shop, they wanted to run that on and get those antis. In the end, they did swap for more of that counterplay. It worked out for them on Route 66, did not work out for them on Hollywood. So they are going to be sticking with that Zen Mercy. That's what we've seen mostly since Control. They did try that Lucio Moira brawl for a little bit on Route 66, but that brawl comp does not work unless you have a Reaper.
No, and that's one thing we saw for sure is that the Reaper can be missed. I'm okay with not seeing too much Reaper though, personally. That's definitely good for me. Temple of Anubis, probably going to see some Reaper as we load into the map here, and we can see a team showing, you know, waiting on that assemble our heroes. And Light is showing us Reaper. So we will see Reaper and we will see Sombra. So something we've seen a lot of. Well, not too surprised on this map specifically we're seeing it.
Not surprising at all. We talked about that. Winston probably going to come out eventually, and there it is. It's a beautiful sight to see the monkey that can zap you. Winston, a great character to play and a very high skill ceiling one. Everyone at the lower tier might think, hey, you know, it's easy, just jump and just zap forehead, but at the higher level, Winston is such a powerful character, especially if you can zone people out with your ult. Just slap them into a wall and kill them that way. Not surprisingly, Josh still on that Tracer, and they are going to be trying to run the Hammond on the attack for Marky's Bagel Shop.
Well, Viz is going to get the scouting information here at the beginning, relay that, hack the Mega Health Pack so that way nobody can use it on the side of Marky's Bagel Shop. And Marky's Bagel Shop is going to look like AK-47 is going to try and have players be forced to him, force them off of that high ground. And in the meantime, Light goes down over, so does Periston Hill. So players down on either side, but it's looking very good for the offense right now in Marky's Bagel Shop. No chance for that Sombra to get away.
Yeah, Biz not able to find the hacks in that Gorilla Strength. I did say Monkey, wanted to correct myself there. The Gorilla Strength not being enough on the side of Kami. A very quick cap for Marquis Bagel Shop. There is going to be a bit of a contest, but that might just be it. I don't see a full regroup from the defenders.
Yeah, I can stall for a little bit there with the Sombra, who still had that translocator somewhere nearby, but that's all it was a stall, and Light gets taken out on the flank, and very easy for AK-47 to spot those tanks up on the high ground, force them off, force them back, and now they're pushing onto the point with a full 6, and throw out a pulse bomb there was Josh, missed the mark, but that's okay. His team will end up losing their Zen, so maybe have to go back to the drawing board here for this one. This push looks over.
Yeah, that does look like the end of that push. You might see a stagger onto AK-47, gonna fall a little bit later than the rest of the team, but with how fast the character is, not gonna matter. And now, they've re-stabilized a little bit on this defense. Generally, on Assault, your first attack after capping the first point on the second point is your best chance at getting it. Now, Marquis Bagel Shop, they're gonna have to wait a little bit for re-engaging.
They got a lot of ultimates that are gonna be coming online here is the one good thing for them, Jag.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we look at Inteco, all they have is Pascal and Kami's ult right now on the mean side. The other side, they're going to have almost 5 ults.
And now the fight starts. Biz able to get up to that EMP. That can win it. They do manage to get Thunder Monkey down. Ooh, a hack too. I think it got off onto Graham, so Graham not able to do a whole heck of a lot on that Mercy. And on the point, AK-47 is fighting a battle by himself, while the rest of his team still is trying to get to the point. Now he gets reinforcements to join him there, but it's the defense holding strong.
Even with more ultimates to start off that fight, Marquis Bagel Shop could not get it done, and those mines were used maybe a little prematurely. They were used, as you said, when the team wasn't able to really re-engage on the point. They were all forced back, and that's an ultimate you're not going to have going into this next fight. Thunder Monkey has that Bob. There isn't going to be a counter there. The EMP from Biz, that can shut this entire push down without anything else being used if they can hit it just right.
EMP comes through, manages to hit 5 players, and that looks like that should be the fight won already for Anteku. Such a strong ultimate as EMP.
They used the beat as well from Vega. They really need to keep that. That's something they needed to keep for another ult, but instead of even worrying about another Bob, they're just going to swap. Thunder Monkey going to be... They're both just going to swap, so this is a mirror matchup. We're going to see that Brawl dive composition come out. Finally, Josh is going to be swapping off the Tracer onto the Reaper. This is what we've been waiting for all day.
Luckily for Marquis Bagel Shop, they're not far behind for some of the important ults, or they're ahead. That's the one good thing for them, even though they made those swaps. Pascal has the Coalescence, though, and they push forward and just decimate this side of Marquis Bagel Shop. And Teku, much better defense here on the second point, but still 3 minutes left for Marquis Bagel Shop.
They're just rotating ults right now. They're going to build up another Primal Rage in the meantime. They're going to get that late pick onto the Sombra, so even more ult charge away. And Pascal, you could just, use that Colt anytime you want. It builds so quickly. So there's no worries there. And Taco right now putting themselves in a great position to hold the second point.
It's match point 2 for Anteku. They win this, they advance on to the final 4, the winner side, and down to the loser side will go Marquis Bagel Shop. So all important map here for Marquis Bagel Shop, and it was their map pick, of course, too. Ultimates here on either side. Biz, though, getting close to another EMP. Out comes the Graviton Surge. EMP will hit 3 players, 4 players, I think, got hit. AK-47 down immediately, and Anteku well in control.
Biz hitting a great EMP to wrap that fight up. Graham did not have the beat on the line. But now we're going to see a bit of a flip of that. Thunder Monkey has their first EMP now after making the swap. Vega has to be careful. They have to hide to make sure they can hit this beat just right. If they don't, Thunder Monkey is going to just roll through that next point and get that full cap.
Thunder Monkey has to have a big EMP, that's for sure. Looking to go on that left side, too.
Yeah, they're going to be sitting up for a bit of the flank. Now going to run under, going to get that health pack hack. The rest of the team is sitting up on the left. They might try to come in from the right, but Light going to get that open pick. Monkey going to be found out, and that's the end of getting an AP that round.
And now you're just caught in this room on that left side. It's actually terrible if you don't have any way to get out and disengage, and that's exactly what they want to do for the side of Anteku. They take advantage of something of a mistake made by Marky's Bagel Shop and turn it into a huge advantage.
I'm not. Did Light just run into Thunder Monkey when they were down below?
I don't know.
Did. If
Right?
they did, that's so unlucky for Thunder Monkey. They keep the EMP, they keep all the ultimates they had before, so still in a good position, just waiting for that mech to come back online. Now Thunder Monkey gonna set up on the opposite side for the EMP. The same scenario, Vega, you have to hide. You gotta make sure you're not hit by this. But it might not even matter. Even if they counter the EMP, everything else is built up on the side of Marky's Bagel Shop.
Biz is about to get the EMP back, though, is the one big thing here. So the EMP coming out first, though, from Marky's Bagel Shop. Only hits 2 players. Graham was able to hide from it, able to get the sound barrier off and keep everybody alive. Pascal goes down, though. They do lose 1 is the only thing. And now you've got to try and deal with this down without your main healer for Anteku. Kami just trying to throw players away. Manages to get the kill on to Graham, and now comes back in super low on the point. Josh with those Hellfire shotguns gets the kill on Takami as soon as he comes down, but this is still a fight to try and even get this point for the side of Marky's Bagel Shop.
And right there, Josh is going to fall before they can use the Death Blossom. The Coalescence coming out from Pascal, keeping everyone alive and damaging the enemy team. Right now, after what looked like it would be an easy full cap for Marky's Bagel Shop, they're finding themselves at a huge disadvantage.
They've got the respawners coming back for the defense now, too. You have the ball come back in AK-47, desperately just trying to keep control on here, but the defense too much. EMP and just trying to get something. Josh not even able to get off that Death Blossom either. Throws it out in desperation. They don't even get 33% on this second point. The defense of Anteku holds strong on point B to give themselves a win condition to move on to the final 4 of the winner's side.
Strong, that was impressive. That's the guy you see at the gym lifting like twice their weight is what it looks like. It was very impressive from Anteku. They're able to restabilize on the second point after a very poor first point defense. They rotated their ult in a great way, and we saw that the ultimate charge coming out from the EMP on Anteku was so much better than Marky's Bagel Shop. They built those EMPs so quickly, were able to execute them pretty well. Even though we saw the second EMP come out from Marky's Bagel Shop right after the first one was used from Anteku on that last fight, it didn't matter. The damage had already been done.
They lost so much time just when you had Thunder Monkey get caught underneath. That hurt them a lot. They had to swap to that composition was a big thing too. So they didn't start off on that composition. They ended up swapping to it, and it ends up not really paying off, even though they swapped to it pretty early. Now you have that clash of styles going to be happening on point A. We know that Marky's Bagel Shop's composition looked a little bit better here, but that was on offense.
Yeah, on defense, I'm not sure this works as well. The Hammond is going to have to displace the attackers, as well as stay alive with the Sombra being coming out from Biz again. If they go too deep, there's a disconnect, so we might see a pause to just a second, looks like.
Well, we're going to...
We're not going to see the pause. It's going to keep going. Oh, so that's going to be a 6v5. There it is, coming out now. I say they lost a tank on the side of Marky's Bagel Shop.
That's actually a massive... You feel really bad for the side of Marky's Bagel Shop because, like, the fight didn't even start. The pause didn't come through quickly, and now they're without a tank as that fight is starting. That might be it. Like, that is enough where that can give such an advantage over to Anteku. They might not have a chance.
Yeah, and Anteku, I don't think they're going to be backing off and waiting for that tank to come. This is a tournament where they want to win. Talked about at the top of the broadcast, Anteku has already punched their ticket to Contenders Trials through OD, but they still want to play for that cash prize. It's nice to be nice, but manners aside, they want to win this.
Yeah, and Marky's Bagel Shop, I mean, you couldn't ask for it to happen at a worse time when somebody DCs, because like an important defense to try and keep this game going on. Literally, first point hold is the most important part of holding for them. Like, there's now a chance that Anteku might have a bigger time bank than what even Marky's Bagel Shop had.
If this first point is lost by Marky's Bagel Shop, the best they can do is tie. They got no point percentage on that second point, even though they got so close. No ticks, so it's gonna be a 33. All they need is that first point and 33% on the second point for Anteku to take this map and the series. So just a few seconds. If they had DC'd a few seconds before, I think that we'd be waiting, for the pause, and then maybe they'd have time to fly back in on the D.Va. But now that the teams have already rotated, Marquis Bagel Shop, if they can win this 5v6, it's going to be super impressive.
Yeah, it's such a boost if Marquis Bagel Shop wins the 5v6. If they don't, I mean, them not winning it is to be expected, especially when you lose a tank and everything else. Like the cards are stacked against them for sure in this fight. The good thing for Marquis Bagel Shop, if they end up losing this map, it's okay. They still are alive in the tournament. That's what the loser side of the bracket is for. So their run won't end on this, but if it ends the match here, it's definitely going to be one that stings a little bit, just because of when the timing of it happened.
Yeah, you can use that sting as motivation to help power you through that loser's bracket, come back even stronger.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, do you even bother engaging this fight if you're Marquis Bagel Shop, or do you just give them the point for free and see GG go next on the second point? That ultimate charge that's going to be given in this fight might make it so easy for Ntaku just to run over the second point.
Or do you back away and wait for that tank to come in and then try to retake it while they're on the point, because you're going to get quick respawns anyways, even if you lose. And there's so much high ground that they can try and use to retake the fight with. So maybe that's what they end up deciding to do. But like, this is like one of the this is a conversation that they're probably having right now on the side of Marquis Bagel Shop.
Absolutely. Let's see what they end up picking. Maybe one of us is right. Maybe they do something completely different from what we said. Who knows what they will do? It's such a hard situation to be in, as we've said before, but luckily for them, they still have that second point to hold on to. And if they can get a draw here and force another map, it will be their pick again. We'll be going to control for a fifth and then possible sixth map.
Well, we should be going back into map here pretty soon. They were able to get the player back in. I think they were just fixing some Discord issues. So we'll be getting back into that in a second. So that's the nice thing. I really hope Marquis Bagel Shop is going to be able to have a chance here, because like this is the time. I can't stress enough. The timing is just like the worst possible timing, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it is the worst possible scenario right now. Also, the role that they lost is really difficult. Losing that off tank, they lost, say, the Tracer. Maybe a bit better for them because they have that to get back. Tracer does have those boosters, but not nearly as fast. And there's the first pick from Biz.
Right onto Bearston Hill, so you already are without your Zenyatta, and they're backing away, but they're backing away towards the spawn of the attackers, and this is going to be a super fast take for Anteku.
Yeah, they're just going to dive in with the bodies. We're going to see that Echo Demo is able to get into the fight, but had to spawn in late, so not going to be able to do much, and that's going to be the cap. If 6-11 in the time bank for Anteku, that is ginormous for them. It's going to be very hard right now for Marquis Bagel Shop to not give up a tick.
The very good thing, at least for Marquis Bagel Shop, there's no advantage as far as time bank goes. Alt percentage is the good thing. So Kami coming in, getting extremely low as he dives forward, but now onto the point will go Anteku. Have players on, have to get back there. If you're Marquis Bagel Shop, it's extremely close. Got to make sure that you stay on the point. They can't stay on! And Marquis Bagel Shop is going down. Anteku will advance on to the final four.
Did not hurt them on Route 66 to give up that point, but here it was everything. It's gonna end their run in the upper bracket, but they still have a lot of fight left in them. They still have a lot of chances to get back into the top four. They will have a loser's bracket run, and they probably have a lot of fight after that disconnect. They're gonna be, kind of reinvigorated, I think. That's a sting. It's hard on that loss, but I still think they're a dark horse to, really get far in this tournament.
Yeah, they definitely are. They go down. They'll face 199X for Marquis Bagel Shop. So a loser's bracket run is definitely in the cards for them for sure. Like you said earlier, they have been able to bounce out a Contenders Trials team already in this point. So not the worst time to get bounced out because you still have an opportunity to advance on. But the nice thing about right now is it's MVP voting time. So you can vote on the MVP is the coolest part about this.
And I gotta wonder, who do you think should be the MVP based on what we saw?
I think it's gonna go to Pascal because like the Zen plays were just nutty. As far as who should get it, I mean, Pascal's not a bad argument either. You might even say Biz. Biz on that tracer was super good for them too, and Kami and Dusk were awesome. Maybe Dusk. Dusk had some huge self destructs.
Yeah, Dusk had a lot of great plays, especially on that Diva. As a flex support player myself, Pascal had some huge plays. Those Transcendences, not so great at the beginning, but they really stepped it up. Also had a great play on the Moira. Those Coalescence came in clutch, and it looks like it's going the way of Cal. I think Cal is going to be MVP.
Honestly, this is not a bad choice either because if you think about it, Cal was very, very good too throughout. So Cal
should
yeah
closing in a second. So yeah, what were you thinking about that?
It could be worse. I mean, there's worse choices that you can make, right? So I don't think there's necessarily a terrible choice for the side of Anteku, right? Because Cal on the what's that?
Was Cal in this game for? It says they're a support player, and I'm trying to think of what we saw.
Oh yeah, it was Vega. I'm thinking of Vega.
Yeah,
Of the Mercy. I was thinking of because you don't say the Mercy name very often, but so they just want Cal to be it. That's fine.
Absolutely, give Cal.
That's what they get. They get to choose. So
I'm sure that some great insight about how the team played and why they ran some of the things they did.
Yeah. So we'll take a time out and we will get everything figured out and we'll be back.
You're powered up. Get in. Heroes never die. You're powered up. Get in.
welcome you back on Trial of Champions here, Labosco and Jagan. We are now joined by Cal from Anteco. And first off, Cal, congrats on winning. A question from Big Hungry Phil was, how warm is the bench right now?
It's medium temperature here. It's fun. I like the bench. It's a nice place. It's comfy. Got drinks.
That's always good. That's always good. Now we obviously know Vega was the one who was in playing the Mercy, and you can forget Mercy players' names because like it's one of those positions where it's like if they're doing their job, you're not paying attention to them. And Vega was definitely doing that. For you as a support, what'd you like from the two guys on your team who were playing today?
I think Pascal is like Owl incoming. I feel like he's like the next big thing. He's so good. We're lucky to have him on our team, and Vega just couldn't have played better. He's fantastic.
Yeah, Pascal, definitely a player to note in that series. Had some great plays on the Zen. You guys went up 1-0 on Lichong, but then ended up losing a very close map that was Route 66. Going into Hollywood, what was the mental state of the team? What was the preparation going into that next map?
Our team is probably very, very mad at each other since that's like kind of our thing. We're all like very good friends, so we like to joke around. I'm gonna guess they're probably a bit heated from losing, but reset their mental because Cammy likes to take control of all that and take all the things. They probably just took a deep breath and said, "Hey, let's get this next one. Let's finish it."
And you guys finished it off really well. And now you get to wait for the victor of our next game. It's either Self-Made or Linares. Is there a team that you really want to play between those two?
I don't think either of them are that good, so not really.
I like it. I like it, though. I like the confidence. That's for sure. Well, we know Mercy's super important, but that's okay, Cal, because, there's going to be your time. It's going to come here eventually, I'm sure. But for the rest of Anteco, I mean, what is the thought here for this tournament for you guys as far as going forward?
Just want to bring me my money. That's pretty much it. Just want to cash out.
Well, hopefully you guys will be able to do that. Congrats and good luck the rest of the way. Jag, anything else?
Nope. I guess if you had to name an MVP yourself from who was playing today, who would it be?
It could be our ball sub Redemption_W1 or our other support sub Royal. They both didn't play. Royale rather. They both didn't play, but they help us behind the scenes. Both very talented players.
That's awesome. I like it. I like though giving those guys the recognition too.
Yeah.
It's definitely people don't realize how important those players are too to making everything work.
Yeah, one of them is very good at meowing. That's an also good thing. Help us behind the scenes.
Fun fact. You heard it here, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Cal, and best of luck in your future matches.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for this match, though. We've got that next one coming on, which, of course, Self-Made versus Lunaris. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with that one.
Uprising Academy, they lay down the shatter, let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%. Right now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly. Oh, it Hastings!
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that line.
Impact se escucha debajo gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost.
Winnable!
So you queue up for Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just what you're doing.
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh no! Kill! Let's go!
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played, competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot.
No way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then two captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
Everybody, Big Hungry Phil here with a note of thanks to Opinion Outpost for sponsoring the Trial of Champions. Want to make some extra cash? Well, earn money through Opinion Outpost by just sharing your opinion. All you've got to do is fill out some surveys. You can make money while watching streams, queuing for a game, or even waiting for your teammates to group up for one final overtime push on the point. Use Opinion Outpost to get that skin you've always wanted. There's nothing better than treating yourself to some well-deserved loot boxes after a long competitive grind. Visit the link to start making money today.
Like, I'm putting all of my time into this always. And to be honest, it kind of has to work out because my academic career wasn't amazing. Video gaming is kind of all that I have. So I don't really have a lot else to put, a lot more energy to put into it. It's everything that I can.
They say, like, do what you love, and I really, really like playing Overwatch. I make fun of the game a lot and, complain about balance patches and stuff, but I really do enjoy the game. I want to make a career out of it.
So I started playing Overwatch in October 2016, and that was like season 3. My first ranking ever was 900. So I started in like bottom bronze.
Playing games for money and playing games for pro and going against really good people. And it's always like a dream. Realizing that if I stick to it, this might be something I can actually do something with and be proud of.
When I was originally in Diamond, some guy in my Diamond game a while ago said, "We're never going to go pro, we're Diamond, why are we trying so hard?" And I basically said, "Screw you, I'm going to go pro."
We have now learned that we do have this potential and we need to use this. We need to continue practicing and working harder.
When you look at tier 3, a lot of us have been at the bottom of the barrel. We've been in the downs and the dumps of, the Overwatch ladder system.
I think as a team going into Trial of Champions, now we know we can do this.
Making it to Contenders Trials proves to myself that all the hard work that I'm putting into it is actually doing something.
I went to the Atlanta Reign homestand, seeing those players up on stage. That was the moment I was like, that's who I want to be. I want to do everything I can to get there.
Sigma! Oh, man, rock with a
Oh my god! The wall just set it up, they had no idea!
The Overwatch League players already made it. They're as high as you can get. They're playing for money and they're playing for clout. But for us, in Tier 3, we're basically playing for our future. If we want to make it, we have to play every match our hardest.
The unique strats that you see in Overwatch League, they all start here.
I am making this dream that I've had for so long, a reality.
At the end of the day, that's what we're all here for, is to play the best Overwatch we can against the best players we can to prove that we're the best.
Game number 1 was a 3-1 win for Anteku over Marky's Bagel Shop, and now it is time for game number 2 to find who will play Anteku in that Final Four on the winner's side. It is Self-Made versus Lunaris, and I am Labasco alongside Jag, getting ready here for this one. Jag, we've got a good game coming up here between two teams with a lot of names that people are going to know.
Absolutely. A lot of names that are recognizable on the side of Self-Made. team mostly made up of streamers and former tier 2 and 1 players. And there's going to be a name on the side of Selfmade that you might not be expecting. That is Jake. That is the Jake Rat. That is not Jake the Snake Roberts. The former Houston Outlaws player will be in for Selfmade today. J3, a streamer for Florida Mayhem. CarQ, a streamer for Toronto Defiant. And Harblue, former Contenders player. So a lot of well-known names. But Lunaris, they've got a lot of good players on their side too.
They definitely do. Chopper and Kabi are very good DPSs. Borkin, a name that people should definitely know from this scene. Specs as well. And then you have Madero and Gunther as well. A very good support lineup that they've got going for them on the side of Lunaris. So a lot of well-known players here that we get to see play in this one, Jag. And I expect this one to be a really good one.
Yeah, Gunther, definitely a support to be on the lookout for. One of the best in the tier 2 scene. Really looking forward to see what they can do today with this Lunaris roster. Lunaris is a team that has made Contenders trials multiple times, but just cannot seem to get over that hump into Contenders proper. They've gone through a little bit of a rework. A lot of this team coming in from Kratos, so some of these players have synergy with each other already.
And synergy is important, and you know, getting some money here is what they hope to do, and you can get money as well. All you got to do is go to Opinion Outpost, and there you can fill out surveys, have the awesome thing of getting money. You don't even have to be, you can do it while you're waiting for queue. You can get yourself some extra loot boxes as a result of that. So there's links to that down below. Of course, you can also do the ! Opinion Outpost to find that out. But you're right. These two teams between Selfmade and Lunaris, a lot of players, especially on Lunaris, trying to get there. And this is a very good test for them. There's a tier 1 player in Jake that they're going to be able to see, that they're going to be able to stack themselves up against. Former tier 1 player. Let's be clear about that, of course.
Yeah, current caster. Jake has played in a few of those tournaments that we saw, like Breaking Barriers, but I would not put it past him to still be just as good as he was in the day in his prime. So definitely a challenge for them. Lunaris has gone into Contenders trials so many times through Open Division. They were not able to. They are not one of the 4 teams that was in this tournament that already had gotten a spot in trial. So this is all or nothing for them if they want to get into Contenders this season. This is their last shot. They do have the losers bracket if they lose here today, but they want to keep staying in this winners bracket.
Yeah, that's definitely what you want to see. We'll take a look at the bracket now, and you can see here that they will go on to face Anteku if they win. And then the other 2 games that we have for you here on this Sunday will be Pug versus Delta Phoenix, and then Hour Zero versus Tea Party. So those are the other games at the top side, and then you can see those teams that we're waiting down below. And of course, you got the times here. Of course, they're subject to change depending on how long some games take and everything like that, but roughly this is about the start times you'll have for every single game. And this one, you know, we were talking about Jake, Lijiang Towers, where we're going, maybe not see it here, but Jake was always somebody that played a lot of Soldier. So, you know, Soldier's always a possibility if Jake's out there.
One of his most well-known clips is that Soldier play from the World Cup long ago on that high ground on Horizon Lunar Colony. I really hope we get to see it today. Maybe we'll see some of that Jake Tracer, famously on the Houston Outlaws Season 1. A very fun time indeed for all Overwatch fans. Now we're getting a bit of a treat here. Gonna see some well-known faces in the community going up against people on the path to pro, trying to make their own mark on this community and industry.
Well, if this is any indication, and we did see an Echo get played on Night Market before, Jake is showing us that for Selfmade. On the other side, Kabe and Chopper, they are playing Reaper and Sombra right now.
Yeah, so a bit more meta with this brawl coming out from Lunaris, but they're going to be running the D.Va instead of the Zarya. Maybe looking to get a bit of that heat. J3 going to be swapping very quickly over to the Reaper, just using that sim for the TP, and now looks like Selfmade caught out a little bit as they're not on the point.
And they're going to have to try and fight their way on. For the other side of Lunaris, though, in control of the point. Kabe able to take CarQ down at the beginning. Chopper will follow up onto Jake, sniping him out of the air, and looking really good at the beginning is Lunaris, not even worried about what Selfmade's throwing at them.
Yeah, they were able to rotate to that point a bit quicker. They just took the position, and from there, they let Self-Made run into them. Now, Jake going to be swapping very quickly off that Echo, so this is almost a mirror competition between the two teams. The only difference is the off tanks, Zarya versus D.Va.
So already a hack coming out onto Harblu though, so won't have those bubbles at least for a moment, and Matman will go down as a result, and they will just back towards the point, make sure they don't give that up for the side of Linares, but they are well in control here on Night Market. Now we'll get aggressive with the Coalescence onto those players that are just trying to back away. Chopper will throw in the Death Blossom for extra measure, and now Linares sitting in a very great position.
The counter flip almost came in, but Jake gonna get a little bit of that crouch from Gunther. That slide play does not end up working out for them, and now we're gonna see that Kobbe has that EMP online. Chop does not have that beat just yet.
J3 about to get up to the Death Blossom as well, so some ultimates that they can come back in with here. They've gotten into the courtyard, but the only problem is there's a massive EMP waiting from Kobbe, and now everybody will be sent back to spawn on Self-Made from great play from Linares.
That is always going to be a free fight win on the side of the team that has an EMP when the other team does not have a Lucio. And now, Orkin, they're hiding in place. They might be looking for a bit of a flank engage, maybe not going to be expecting it on the side of Self-Made. This is a big brain play that might go in the opposite direction.
Jake spots him out though, was invisible, able to see that, goes for the hack onto Specs, gets it off, so the D.Va being hacked allows for Harblu to throw out the Graviton Surge with no worry. Self-destruct thrown into the middle of it. Player going down in Jake, but Specs is down too. Chopper the next one to fall. J3 still has the Death Blossom available. Won't need to commit it here as long as they clean up this Moira, which they will do. But it's going to end up being a 99-0 flip finally when it happens, and Borkin was able to take Matman off the map.
That might be a very good play there, because you're gonna have to see the Lucio. Chop is probably gonna have to go back and get their Reinhardt to get that extra speed. Meanwhile, on the other side, Linares, they can just run in as a full team. They're gonna have the respawns a bit quicker.
Respawning will be the same time, though, for the Reinhardts because of how they end up going off. So you will be able to get that back. Jake with the EMP. Oh, it's a massive one, too. Hits 5 players, but Gunther's able to stay alive. But the sound barrier not going to be enough. The counter EMP, 2 players go down, and then the Death Blossom from Chopper to give them that with a quad kill. They'll be able to take this point back, and good luck getting back with the overtime meter. That'll go down quickly.
Tactical crouches for everyone. Harblu going to swap on to the Hammonds, but it's not going to be enough in a very decisive round going to Linares. They had control of that point almost the entire time, only losing 1 fight and then immediately getting it back for the round win.
The one thing here to look at, Jag, is it felt like Self-Made as far as the composition just couldn't compete with what Linares decided to go with that Reaper and Sombra.
Swapping to the Somber Reaper a bit too late on the side of Self-Made. They were just always going to be in a hole alt-wise. Kobbe got that EMP online so early, was able to use it so efficiently, got it before Chopped got a first beat, and from there, it was just kind of free real estate for Linares. They did a very good job at rotating their ult. They knew not to overcommit in that fight that was lost. Now we're going to be seeing a bit of the dive coming out. Harblu on that Wrecking Ball, probably what he's known best for.
So fun to see Harblu on that. Uses that Wrecking Ball to go in. Doesn't get a knockoff just yet, but Jake in the meantime in the skies will get the kill on the Echo, making sure to stay on that flank, throws those sticky bombs out. Misses a little bit. They do lose Matman, but the beam down on to counter and take out Borkin. This is looking really good for Self-Made here on Gardens.
It is looking good, and they have a D.Va, Moira, and a Lucio still alive on the other side of Linares, but it's just going to be a matter of time before they fall. Jake on the Echo so far, it's a great call because the skybox is so high, you're not as dependent as you are on a Mercy as if you're playing Pharah, so you can just run around, get those beams on weak targets.
Speaking of Jake coming back into the fight right now in the Coalescence, along with the Pulse Bomb available for the side of Linares, and it's giving them a chance in this fight. J3 does take Kobbe out though, so still not able to build up to that EMP, and now the Coalescence can come out from KarQ, keep those players alive, focus down some targets as well, and it's finally going to be a stabilizing fight win for Self-Made. That was basically one fight from the beginning.
Hardblue went off the map, but it didn't even matter in the end. Selfmade still able to stabilize, able to take control of this point a bit better. And they have ults to work with. They have Jake's duplicate. The question is, who do you use it on? Do you try to get a Sombra for your own EMP?
Well, Hack's going to come out first onto KarQ. They've got to keep KarQ alive, commit the Sound Barrier in to do that. Gunther gets the knockoff onto Hardblue too, so you lose out on your Wrecking Ball. Jake ends up picking the D.Va, uses the self-destruct, not going to get much value there. Gets back into Mac, but Chopper is going to be able to take out J3, and Selfmade starting to lose players as a result. The Pulse Bomb kill too. Jake able to get Specs down. They're still maintaining control of the point for Selfmade.
That was a Grace Pulse Bomb by Chopper onto Jake, who was in the D.Va. Ended up taking out Matman instead with the Pulse Bomb. The D.Va just so chunky, hard to miss that mech. This fight is still ongoing. This is what's so great about if you have control of this point. You can stall it out for forever.
And now the Coalescence out from Madero to try and get his team that advantage to finally take this point over. They're so close to doing it. Selfmade coming through with another stall, chopped in the air, and they've got to finally get onto him, and they finally will get the flip, but 92% is where it goes for Selfmade.
It looks very similar to what we saw last round, but this time Flip Lunaris coming out on the short end of that stick. Have to build up a lot of point percentage to get back into this. They use a lot of ults too, so they don't have much to work with, but on the other side, Selfmade doesn't either. So this is basically a dry fight for both teams. Whoever can get an opening pick is going to have a huge avenue.
Kabe far away from the ult 2. Jake gets caught out. No mercy to heal him up. Chopper getting that kill, but in the meantime, the Coalescence from KarQ too much to handle for the side of Lunaris. Working on the point, just trying to keep it for as long as possible. There's some mines there. There's Hardblue there himself too. Kabe building up to that EMP. Getting close, but not going to be enough to get it in this fight. They still got to get control of the point for Selfmade, and now they're going to use the Sound Barrier in here for Lunaris to come back in.
Exactly what I was talking about. Once you've got control of this point, it's so easy to keep that ball rolling and picks upon picks for both sides. Right now, Lunaris might get the better end of it. That Pulse Bomb onto Gunther might have a better story to tell, but no. Now it is just a lonely Winston who's going to be the last to fall. Great play on the side of the DPS from Lunaris, just running in to keep that point alive. Kabe now has another P online. So it's going to be the battle between Chopped and Kabe. Can Kabe hit it? Can they make sure that Chopped is in that area, or at least hacked before the EMP goes off?
So 3 ultimates available for the side of Lunaris to try and hold on to this. They're about to get to 80%. Kabe has that EMP available. Oh no! Kabe used the ultimate. There was nobody there. The Sound Barrier does get used by Chop though still to make sure that they can keep an advantage. Matman using that Primal Rage too. Hardblue throwing the mines out as well. Chopper gets the kill onto Hardblue. Jake picks the D.Va again for the ultimate. Gets forced out of mech though, and now back in to that Echo form. Overtime meter going to start going down for Lunaris. They are losing this though. This battle finally starting to go in favor of Selfmade.
That EMP not finding anything. Not sure if they tried to hit Q before the translocator, or we're just expecting someone to run into that room. That was their fight winner. They weren't able to get it off, and now Selfmade, they've got control of the point once again. The ball gonna touch, but is it enough right now? Borkin's so low, gonna fall, and now it's gonna be the Moira trying to contest.
It's all about the staggers now. Can you get enough players together to have a chance? The only problem is anytime somebody comes into the point, there's a host of Selfmade players waiting for them to take them down and win this fight. No chance at all. We're going to have a third point. We've seen all 6 points of Lijiang Tower on this one, although 2 kills come through for Kabe and Chopper, so the DPS not done on the side of Lunaris. They want to keep this in. There's a chance for them to come back in. They've still got players contesting. Their Wrecking Ball is still there. The EMP comes through, manages to hit 2. Sound Barrier through from Gunther, and now Borkin can throw out the mines too. They're turning it around for Lunaris.
Winnable. It's winnable. They need to kill Hardblue. They need to kill the Lucio player. Chop's still alive. The Colette is now going to come out from KarQ, but it's going to be so far away, and that's that. That is the end of Lijiang. Lunaris bringing it back from the grip of death on that last point to win the map 2-0. Holy smokes, was that exciting.
That looked over. There was nobody there. They had killed 3 players on the side of Lunaris from Selfmade, and then Selfmade end up just losing it all. That's
Chopper.
wild.
Chopper was just insane there. Was able to stay alive long enough, and Chopper enjoying that play of the game. Able to stay alive long enough on that Tracer, got some picks, and then Kaabe coming back in. Definitely hit that EMP. The first one we saw at the end of that fight, not so great. Did not get the value they were looking for in an empty room, but was able to throw the translocator on point, and there you have it. Lunaris not out of this ever.
Definitely not. I mean, you talk about, self-made or players that people know, but Lunaris is experienced contenders, trials players that have been fighting their way for these spots, and they're showing that they've got the heart to come back in a situation that looks like it's absolutely lost. I'm saying, oh yeah, we're going to see our 6 point of Lijiang Tower today, and they're like, no, we're not. What are you talking about? Caster's Curse is exactly what you did, Labasco, and that's what ends up happening. Self-made, I mean, that's a tough way for that one to go down at the end.
A tough one, but very exciting, and I'm sure all our friends watching right now are just, my face right now was just, that was just my expression. I was just like so surprised and at the same time energized. So kind of looks like I have buck teeth there, but that's what happens with that point. Gardens is so contestable because you're usually going to be running fast heroes anyway. They were able to get on to the point. They were able to throw themselves one at a time, enough to keep it alive. That overtime ticker never got too low, and that's where you see some of the maybe the lack of team play from Self-Made, where they are well known and great players, but they weren't able to focus down targets enough to finish it off and force a 0.3.
One of the things you talked about at the beginning was the synergy of a team like Lunaris. A lot of players who were on Kratos together and now are back together again on this team in Lunaris. On the side for Self-Made, some of these players have played together, but in this sort of setting, not for the amount of time that we've seen like a team like Lunaris, especially recently, I think is the bigger part about that.
Yeah, and also former players from Regen and Revival on the side of Lunaris, so a lot of tier 2 experience.
Yeah.
Self-Made, yeah, they've played together a few times, but how much do you practice? How much are you taking this, as seriously as Lunaris is? Obviously, Self-Made is here to win. They're not saying, hey, like, whatever, we'll just play and see what happens. They want that cash prize at the end of the road. But Lunaris, they're fighting for their lives. They're fighting for a career, potentially. The more you get to play on these stream games, Contenders Trials, Contenders, the more exposure you get, the more chance you have of getting signed to an Overwatch League contract one day.
Yeah, so the very good start for this one for sure. We found that our next map is going to be Route 66 Jag, and I think this offers a much different look than the 2 points that we saw on Lijiang Tower. We didn't get to see those long sight lines. We know Ashe has been very important in the meta as of right now. Same with Widowmaker. These are things that we definitely can see both players on either side for Self-Made and Lunaris make and be really effective with.
Yeah, it also opens up a lot of room for Wrecking Ball. We saw it a lot in that last series. Hard Blue rate on Hammond on that hamster, so potentially they could run a dive hybrid, but it looks like they're going to be running instead very traditional composition. KarQ on the Ana, that's an interesting pick. Usually when you see the Reaper Sombra, you want to see the Moira as well. Lucio and Ana don't have the best synergy. Ana, a one heal target, you got to make sure you hit your shots. Lucio, that AoE, so it can be a bit slower to heal up the entire team.
Really can be. So you look at the defense, Chopper's playing Soldier. We're getting Soldier 76. Is this really happening?
Have been locked.
Is this really happening right now? I mean, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but like we saw Ashe the entire time. Yep, Chopper's playing Soldier 76. We got a Soldier 76 sighting in the year 2020. It's nice to see it back.
I'm even more surprised about Gunther on this brig. You would think that maybe they'd be going for a Mercy to pocket the Soldier. Maybe they're expecting that there is going to be a Hammond or some other Dibey players in their backline. Brig is very good with CC, but right now we're going to see that the Brawl comp is going to really counter that brig. It's going to be very hard for her to play into a Reinhardt.
So Borkin waiting for the opportunity to come in, slams down onto those players that are on the cart for Self-Made, just trying to spam down on the players on the low ground is Chopper, having to back away. Still in control of Big Earls though, and Harblu getting up there in the face of those players on the high ground, now focusing down Borkin with the help of his main tank and Matman, who is getting extremely low, was hit with that anti-nade, but now starting to get healed back up. Right now it's just a battle of poke.
No one finding a pick, but just as I say that, Chopped is going to be the one to fall. And from there, it should be a cleanup. Looks like Zari is going to get away with their life. Harbly to get out of that and make it time. And now Borkin going a little bit too close to the sun.
And that might spell disaster for the side of Lunaris. Losing out on that. Chopper has been massive on this Soldier 76, but can only do so much, especially now with the high ground control being lost to Harblu, who is now super high charge. They throw the nano boost in desperation on to Spec to just try to keep him going. Gonna grab that D.Va, though, not even allow her to escape. Use the self-destruct. Jake can quickly use the Wraith form to get away from that. It's an expensive fight, but Self-Made will be able to get to these doors.
Sometimes the best things in life are worth the expensive price tag. A lot of ultimates used by Self-Made, but they have the EMP, the one that might matter the most online in combination with that Death Blossom. Lunaris has no defensive ult. Brick ult would go off and still be activated, but they don't have it online yet, so that extra armor is not going to be available for them. They used the nano on to Specs, who then used the D.Va bomb at the end of the fight. They got Harblu, but it might have been more of a panic ult than something they planned to use.
Yeah, it seems like the plans that they had there kind of went awry a little bit, but Lunar is still not in the worst spot. I mean, they did take off a little bit of time. They had that first attack that they looked really good on. It just changes a little bit now because there's not the same sort of high ground that you had before, but they're not changing anything, it looks like, as far as other than Kabe on the Sombra.
They are going to swap Borkin to the Rhine, so no more Wrecking Ball in the backline of Self-Made. They have more of a brawl comp now. They can run in with this, but again, J3 has that EMP, is looking for it any moment now.
Looking to throw that off, trying to get the hack off onto Borkin, not able to get it off just yet, but Borkin keeps turning the shield in time to not allow for himself to get hacked. Matman on the cart, you're going to spam all of that visor into the shield. Not a whole lot for Chopper there. Finds Jake, though. Wraith forms away just in time towards that Mega Health Pack. Has the Death Blossom that he can come back in with, too. Then J3 still holding patient with this EMP. Now finally decides to use it right in tandem with Matman's ultimate. They also use the Death Blossom too. A lot of ults in, and they will be able to get this cart moving again. Just have to take care of the stragglers.
Stragglers going to be handled with, and now this is where Lunaris has to get a bit worried. That high ground on that bridge was really their win condition. They don't have it anymore. They're going to be playing at where the second point is capped. It's not looking good. They don't have the EMP online either. All they have right now is a nano. Chopper now going to swap on to the Reaper.
So Borkin coming back out from the high ground, getting very close, is Self-Made to those doors. You have Harblu getting hit with the anti-nade, but able to get away. Nano boost on. Matman can't handle that. Earthshatter catches nothing for Borkin. Charges back in, though, misses with the charge, but can swing freely on those players on the low ground. Already takes down Chop. Fire strikes in to Harblu, and now it's looking pretty good for the defense to maybe start to stabilize. Chopper chasing down the Ana in Kharkiv.
J3 is still in the backline. He might try to go for the back cap, or might just try to play back and look for the respawns. You build up your EMP for Kabe, so that's great for the defenders. How do you play this, though? The cart is behind you. You're trying to take that high ground. If you're not looking carefully enough, they can just run right past you on the side of the attackers and take that point.
Well, they know J3's behind. They focused him away a little bit as he did show on the cart. He is behind enemy lines still, though. Harblu getting healed up, going back in, and Kabe focusing down on J3. The EMP only hits Matman. Massive loss there by only hitting the one, and more value coming out from Jake on the Death Blossom.
Yeah, the EMP from Kabe, again, just they were trying to isolate the Wrecking Ball, but weren't able to. This looks like Harblu was just out of that AoE, so a ult that could have won a fight, not going to be getting value. And right now, they're not stopping on the side of Self-Made. They are running it down right now on third point, trying to get as many exit frags as they can. Right now, we're going to see a lot of space being made for Self-Made.
2 minutes and 56 seconds on the clock, too, for Self-Made. So not the biggest time bank we've seen today, but a decent-sized one nonetheless. 2 ultimates up for Lunaris, and you're going to have the first one that gets used is Jake's for Self-Made. Gets the nano boost, focusing down multiple targets. Gets the mech off for Specs, forces out the sound barrier. Borkin in the meantime still managing to get kills through the sound barrier. Jake now teleporting to the back line, uses the Death Blossom, gets booped away by Gunther though to keep those last 2 players left alive. A very good boop that may allow them to have one more recontest.
That was a big play by Chop to force Gunther to use their own sound barrier. Now J3 has that EMP online and there's no counter for it.
J3 being patient with it too, been very patient with his EMPs. They've been very effective though when he has decided to use it. Throws out the translocator, manages to hit Gunther and Borkin with the EMP, the counter EMP, and Chopper with the Death Blossom gets a triple kill.
Parkyu just gonna stand there and accept their death. The counter EMP was huge. Kabe and Chopper were hiding. They waited for the time to come back out. Played that so masterfully. Now they both up tangled on the side of Lunaris. Self-Made has nothing to work with, and that clock is ticking further and further down.
A minute and a half left, so maybe 2, maybe 3 fights, depending on how quickly these fights go. Kabe trying to get a hack off onto the Ana will just translocate away. Doesn't want to risk getting slept since he couldn't get the hack off. Borkin in the meantime going on that right side. Has the Earth Shatter, has the Nano Boost, trying to just swing into Matman. Gets hacked up, so won't even be able to use the Shatter while he's Nano Boosted. Swinging into Jake now, who's trying to escape, able to get back away. Self-destruct thrown into the middle of Self-Made. Everybody's able to avoid it though. It allows for the Shatter to come through. Players still alive even from the Shatter though, so now Ultimate's not working. Matman goes down a little too aggressive in front of his team, and now we're down to 54 seconds.
There were some interesting interactions there. They used Parkyu's Nano, but instead of hitting it onto Matman, they hit it onto Harblue. I'm not sure if that was on purpose to try to build charge and the Graviton Surge that was used later, or if it was a misplay, and that happens when you're the Ana. Sometimes you try to hit the right target for Nano, and it's just not found. Now Kabe, gonna be found out a little bit, just building EMP charge. J3 and Kabe neck and neck.
Batman coming back with the Shatter. Just waiting for that opportunity. They come along the left side. 15 seconds left to try and get this cart the rest of the way for Self-Made. A lot of damage being spammed into Madman. He has control of that top area. Chopper coming in though with the Death Blossom. Nano Boost. 2 players down to the Beyblade. Sound Barrier coming too late from Chopped. They can't even get to the cart for Self-Made. They get a decent amount of distance, but they can't complete the map. Lunaris has a good win condition set.
I'm having flashbacks to the last series because this is exactly what happened on Route 66 in our last match that we saw here. In the end, the first round attackers had that good push at the beginning, weren't able to get it done, and weren't playing the objective. But again, a good push, getting it almost all the way to the end. 69.31 meters on the board for Self-Made. But if they don't have any chance to get a tie in 4-6 rounds here. If Lunaris can't get it farther, they will win this map and go up 2-0 in the series. So Lunaris, they know their win condition. They know how far they have to get it. They know what comp to run. It worked out pretty well at the end. They swapped a little bit around. They weren't running Borkin anymore on that Hammond as they tried first point, and they were able to stabilize and get a healthy ult bank for the 3rd point.
They really were. The big thing now, Lunaris, the offense obviously a little bit different than what you're going to run on defense, and defensively here we can see they kind of seem to have settled into what they want to do for Self-Made.
Yeah, it seems like they run something very similar, but it's that Ana versus Moira battle that we're going to see right now. Everything else is the same, except for the off-tanks as well. Specs seems to really favor that D.Va instead of the Zarya, and generally I would say Zarya might be the better pick, but right now, it's working for Specs. The D.Va play has been pretty solid.
Well, Chopper on that high ground for Lunaris. Just looking to see where those players are. They now know. Very aggressive push in. Nice charge coming through, and Matman can't do anything about it. And it's a very good first fight coming out from Lunaris.
A very quick first fight. We're going to see J3 fall. It's going to be scouted out by Specs at the end. that isn't a bad thing for Self-Made. They lost that fight very quickly. That cart has barely moved. They still have time to get on top of Big Earls and try to take that positioning. But as we see, Borkin and Specs already there.
So you'll have to fight through those tanks that are there. Fire Strike coming through from Matman, swinging in. They do get control of Big Earls, but now it's about winning the fight. Now that you have this control, Self-Made looking for their opportunity to drop down, and they're going to drop right into Medero's use of that ultimate. And that is a big, big coalescence that came through. Nothing that they can do on the side of Self-Made except go in, slow the cart down as much as you can.
Yeah, instead of being at Big Earls, they're going to be in their spawn for a little while longer. Medero, with that coalescence, this just shows how good of an ult it is. It builds so quickly, but it can be a fight decider instantly. Right now, there is time for the recontest from Self-Made. Can they get there in time? They will.
They managed to get there in time. Jake, in the meantime, was able to take Kabe out. Jake has that Death Blossom there. This contest, if you can get a big Death Blossom off, can make a difference. Double kill from Jake. Chopper took you down, though, too. Have to be able to get one more player out to have a chance if you're the side of Self-Made. Self-destruct used. Jake will be able to slide away from it. KarQ can't, though. EMP gets used by Kabe to force these players back and should get this fight win over to Linares. Eventually forces out the Coalescence, though, too.
If we're talking about expensive fights for Self-Made, that was basically Gucci. They used so much and they still couldn't get the value they were looking for. That's not a attack on Gucci. I'm just trying to name fancy brands right now. They used so much, and in the end, the recontest from Lunaris on their attack just ended up paying off. One thing I want to say is you could really tell how high level Jake is. He had a little bit of a jump to get up onto the high ground of Earls, even while hacked. That's just some veteranship right there.
Yeah, very good veteran move from Jake, somebody who's got a lot of time in the game. Still plays the game even though he's a caster now. Carblue, in the meantime, is going to throw that grab out. It gets eaten by Specs! Allows for the Death Blossom to come through from Chopper. The Coalescence now, they've got to back up with it for the side of Self-Made. Not the way they thought that fight was going to go.
And there's where the D.Va difference comes in. You can counter that Zarya so well. That Eat is one of the hardest plays mechanically to get as a D.Va. You got to make sure you've got your DM, you got to be in range, and Specs nails it right there. They're able to go in aggressively of Choppers. Death Blossom, and now rolling through this second point, Kabe has the EMP. Chop is nowhere close to that beat.
Gotta try and do something, though, if you're the side of Self-Made. The sound barrier coming through from Gunther as they get aggressive Matman down early in the fight again. J3 has to just run away with his translocator, and this should be a huge time bank going into the final part of the map for Lunaris.
Kabe didn't even have to commit the EMP. They were just able to go in with Chopper's Rebirth. It has been unstoppable so far. They are a menace, Chopper is. They have just putting so much pressure on the tanks, able to force fights where Self-Made doesn't want to be playing in. But the OPEC hasn't built up again from Self-Made. Now they have stuff to work with.
Earth Shatter coming through from Matman. They try to get aggressive. Self-destruct thrown right into the middle of them, and that fight doesn't work out at all for the side of Self-Made.
The one thing it does do is it kills time. They were so worried about what was going on behind them. They weren't really playing at all in the front line. If they can get J3 though, that would be a huge pick, and they do. So now there is no EMP online for Self-Made. The Lunaris, they're not going to push that. They're just going to stay on the cart, looking to play around an EMP of their own.
Self-Made now has to wait for J3 to come back. They do manage to stay live while they wait. J3 back in, going to use that translocator, get into an area, hits both tanks with his EMP. Out comes the Death Blossoms on either side. Sound barrier to cancel for the side of Self-Made, but they still lose Matman in the fight. KarQ using that Coalescence, but Jake goes down as well. And they can't even get to the cart to touch. Linares wins, takes a 2-0 lead.
Labosco, I'm starting to think you and I are bad luck for teams in playing the objective. We've just seen it so many times today where they leave for a split second and that's all it takes. Wow, again, they can't do it on attack and defense, but they do.
Chopper has been so good, though. I mean, part of the reason why they couldn't get back to the cart, too, at multiple times, and the Death Blossoms have been super good from the side of Lunaris. All their ultimates have been very good. Like, you can see the experience from this team for sure.
Yeah, they are young and hungry, but still experienced nonetheless, and they are looking so impressive. This new look Lunaris, different from what we saw in Trials just a few weeks ago, is
Yeah.
putting on a show against Selfmade.
Well, we'll see if they can continue the show, but before we do that, we'll take a quick timeout.
Uprising Academy, they lay down the shatter, let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%. Right now with Hydra building up to this Vera barrage so quickly. Oh, and asking.
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact se escucha debajo gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We've got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting until it's for sure lost. Winnable!
Big Hungry Phil here with a note of thanks to Opinion Outpost for sponsoring the Trial of Champions. Want to make some extra cash? Well, earn money through Opinion Outpost by just sharing your opinion. All you've got to do is fill out some surveys. You can make money while watching streams, queuing for a game, or even waiting for your teammates to group up for one final overtime push on the point. Use Opinion Outpost to get that skin you've always wanted. There's nothing better than treating yourself to some well-deserved loot boxes after a long competitive grind. Visit the link to start making money today.
It is 2-0 in favor of Lunaris over Selfmade. The former players from a couple of different teams on Lunaris, all looking really good. Labasco here alongside Jag, but Selfmade not out of it yet. There's still a chance for them to come back in this one as we get ready for map number 3.
The reverse sweep dream is always alive on this third map, so down 0-2 for Selfmade. The dream isn't over just yet. Neither will it be even if they lose this series. There is still the losers bracket, so plenty of time for them to regroup, readjust, and get back into this tournament. Lunaris, though, oh, they came out hot, and they have not stopped swinging yet. They have been on fire.
It's going to be fun to see if they do make it to the next round, them play against Antico, if that's what ends up being our matchup. But Self-Made, of course, still have a say in whether or not that will be the matchup we see in the next round in the semis of the winner side. Still have a chance here. It is their map pick again, too. So they do pick Eichenwald as their map. So Eichenwald, I mean, we haven't seen Jake's Pharah in a while, but like Jake was a very good Pharah. Eichenwald first point is a map you can do. I'm not saying we're going to see it, but like that's one of the things that I think about that you can do on that map. That is a possibility.
It sounded like for a second you're gonna say like Jake's Pharah. I think about it at night all the time. You know, I miss it, the memory of it.
There's Sparkles Pharah, and so you know that I'm sorry.
Absolutely. We could see the Echo. It seems like the Echo is almost better than Pharah right now because she's more self-dependable. You don't need that pharmacy there. You don't need the Mercy pocket, so you could just kind of run in with that flying ability and then get out pretty quickly. And those stickies are so good from a far away range. Though we might see them stick to the Reaper Sombra. They tried to go tit for tat with Lunaris on our last map on Route 66. Lunaris got the better end of that fight.
Interestingly enough, we did see, you know, Echo with no Mercy. We saw all Mercy though the game before this, so it's a little bit interesting to see how the styles have differed in both matches that we've had today, where two teams ran almost exclusively Mercy, and now we haven't had any Mercy.
I would almost say that you might have a better chance winning the matchup running the Zen Mercy against a Sombra than you would a Lucio Moira. Zen and Mercy's ults are not canceled by an EMP, so you can just use it as soon as you see the translocator come out. The Lucio battle with the Sombra is so much more difficult. That beat will be canceled out completely by the EMP, so it's a game of cat and mouse, or dog and cat, you know, whatever way you're looking at it. One way or another, one of those players is going to come out on top, and it's just a lot of hiding.
When I think of Gunther specifically, obviously you don't even think about Mercy as much as you think about Lucio. So, like, from their side, for Lunaris, I get it more, but KarQ and Chopped, I mean, I could see them running a Mercy if that's something that they decide to do. The teams, I believe, have stayed as far as the sides. I think we'll still have Lunaris as our defending team. They haven't switched that up, so we'll see what Lunaris decides that they want to do here in just a moment. For the side of Self-Made, though, I mean, down in a 2-0 hole, where are the positives? What can we see that they can maybe use to try and get themselves back into this?
Jake's Reaper is still very, very good. I think the battle between him and Chopper has maybe gone in Chopper's favor a little bit more based around team play, but Jake has still put off some really great plays on the Reaper. I think they just have to be a little bit more in sync with the Sombra play. J3 on that Sombra. The EMPs have been good, but sometimes there's just no follow-up. At the end, that last fight, there were two dueling EMPs. One team had a beat, one team did not. It was actually the team that lost that fight that had a beat to counter the EMP. They still lost on the side of Self-Made. The follow-up was just not there for them.
And that might just be, you know, you've got somebody subbing in on your team who probably didn't have any expectations of playing in this tournament at all, coming in, and Jake, and also they are a very new team as well. So not the same amount of time as some of the players on Lunaris have had together. So it feels like that might be a little bit of a difference too.
Yeah, Samito had to be subbed out. Jake was subbed in. And when you've got a new team that has a lot less time to practice in general, it's even harder to have a ringer come in, even one as great as a former Overwatch League player. Sometimes individual skill doesn't match up to team play. And Lunaris right now, their team play is impeccable.
The one thing, though, for Self-Made, the skill is there. They definitely have some very skilled players. I mean, Harblu has looked pretty good on the Zarya. We've seen an unfortunate eat. I mean, not really. It's very fortunate for Lunaris. That's very good diva play from Specs. But for Harblu, I mean, that's always rough when something like that happens to you, like we saw on Route 66. But we're going up now into Eichenwald. We'll get to see what these teams decide that they want to do on this map. How Lunaris wants to set up defensively, we'll find out here in just a moment. And it doesn't feel like Lunaris is able to set the pace. It feels like they can do what they want.
That's how you want to play this game. You don't want to play scared. You don't want to give your opponents too much respect. You kind of have to just run into them and hope for the best. And Lunaris having a little bit of fun there. don't think we'll see any of those characters once they respawn on their defense. We're gonna have Jake targeting on the Echo, something that you and I talked about. Child is on that Mercy, so maybe they are looking for that pharmacy with an Echo instead. Gonna pocket Jake to see if they can rain damage from above, get those picks from the sky.
Yeah, the Echo Mercy is what they're going to do instead. I don't know if there's like a good name for Mercy and Echo.
Let's try to think of one.
I don't. Merso doesn't sound very good. Like
that's better than I have. Let's just the Merso. Let's roll with it.
XC, it's not very good either way. But what is good is to see that they are going to be trying something new, see how it works out from them. Kabe scouts it out early on, gets the hack off. Jake is now in the air, supported by that Mercy, playing around that tower in the middle, looking for that first target. Gets the nice shot onto Kabe, and now throws the sticky bombs into a host of players. Early advantage going over to Selfmade.
It's going to be really hard for Linares to win this fight. This is a Chaos coming out from Selfmade. They have Hardblue on the Wrecking Ball, just going to wreak havoc in the backline right around Jake. Going to be putting in all that damage, but Chopper does find J3. Now this fight might be turnable after Selfmade got the first pick.
2 players go down. It's still anybody's fight. There's plenty of players available on either side. Hardblue, though, going away, so it looks like they're going to concede after just getting that first tick. But they do get 33%, so that's good for the side of Selfmade.
Yeah, a tick is great for a first fight. Not able to get the full cap, not able to capitalize on the advantage they had. Kabe was taken out very early on, and it seems like the follow-up, once again, just not there from the rest of the team. But now the Coalescence is going to come out as Hardblue engages.
Trying to hide from that Coalescence was Chop, can only hide for so long. Jake used the ultimate too, so they lose out on the ult, they lose their Mercy, they lose that combo in the sky, and they're forced back into spawn.
Gunther getting 2 picks there. It's great to see the frag Lucio. And yeah, Jake was going for an EMP on that duplicate, but that Coalescence completely cut it out. Was able to zone out Jake, get rid of that second life, and all not going to be used wisely there by Jake. Now, J3 and Hardblue have their ult online. There's nothing quite online yet for Lunaris.
Hardblue going to throw out those mines pretty quickly, allow for his team to advance forward. They have to back up on the side of Linares, respect those mines. Hardblue now can force those players into the corner, gets a lot of damage, boots a lot of players back. It takes a lot of damage, but the EMP will come out. Hardblue gets healed up. Linares trying to capitalize on that, finally do with the help of Chopper using that Death Blossom.
We're going to see the bomb come out just for the remake, but it's going to be enough to make Madman go away. They might be found out, and they are. This is going very good right now for Linares. They use the EMP, they use the Death Blossom, but they still have the Shatter and be online. J3 now swapping over to the Reaper, so they will have some advantage, but look, the Reinhardt's all the way behind them. Is it going to come?
Oh, they spot it. They spot it out. They stop the Shatter from working. Sound Mirror has to be used. They will still be able to win the fight at the very least, but boy, was it more expensive than they wanted it to be.
Yeah, just getting a bit greedy there. Madman was the last one to get into the fight. If Gorkin had gone for that a bit earlier, would have been able to find the rest of the team. Play still works out nonetheless, but now Jake has that duplicate. He's looking for a target, maybe trying to get another quick EMP. Get followed up with Madman Shatter, and that would be the first point going the way of Selfmade.
So much space had to be conceded as a result of that, so a chance here. Kabe trying to come into the back line and get a hack off. Does manage to hack off Chop. The use of the Shatter. Madman can't stay alive, though. The Coalescence takes him down. Gunther will get the kill onto Hardblue, too, and they still hold strong, even though they had to concede space for Linares.
A fight that went so wrong. It could have gone so right, but the Shatter being committed first by Madman, and instead of going for the EMP, Jake went for the Diva mech. Did not get any value on that duplicate, and now all they have is Karku's Coalescence. J3 and Hardblue are close to their ultimates, but look at how close they're taking this fight.
Taking it right by the doors, and they're winning the fight too. The self-destruct with a kill, the charge a kill. Karku desperately using that Coalescence. Somebody is on the point though, forcing these players to have to back up. And now you have J3 getting close to the Death Blossom. Needs to get it here for them to have a chance. Jake has gone over to the Doomfist, manages to get a kill before he dies. Death Blossom in, but J3 can't do enough. Specs being helped alive by Madero using that Coalescence. And it's all falling apart for Selfmade.
That is going to be a full hold on that first point. They gave up a tick. They don't give up 2 ticks, though. 62.3% is what was gained by Self-Made at the end of the day, and that was a great play by Lunaris
So win
to take
condition.
that fight up front. Lunaris has a very easy win condition, I would say. They know exactly how much they have to get. They don't even have to get a full cap on that first point. Going back to
Self-Made
that,
has one too.
yeah, they just need to hold. They can win. They can, in fact, win this map. They can't draw it. If they can hold better off, they can win this. It is unlikely, but possible. Just want to talk about Lunaris, though, on that defense. They knew that there was only one fight left, so instead of waiting at the point, instead of waiting even at that choke point over the bridge above them, they just take it right to their spawn gate. They are able to touch on the side of Self-Made. They had the emergency Doomfist come out from Jake. Does get them a little bit more point percentage, but what a great play by Lunaris.
A massive play from them. They knew exactly what they needed to do, and they are in control. Their destiny is in their own hands. A lot of decisions have to be made defensively here from Self-Made, and you can see they're kind of mulling them over because we're down to 17 seconds, and they still have 3 players that haven't picked anything.
Yeah, still have those decisions got to be made quick too. Right now, it looks like we're gonna see the Jake Farah. What you've been dreaming of? Is it happening? Is it here? I think it's gonna be
Well,
here.
it's late.
It's a little late, and Madman, they're gonna be going with the Sigma Diva, so a lot of potential to eat abilities. Madman just to swap over very quickly to that Hammond now. So traditional brawl comp coming out with the Reaper Sombra versus very unique, very different comp coming out from Self-Made, trying anything that works at this point to keep the series alive.
Well, Jake in the air goes back down to the ground. He knows everybody's on that left side, so just spamming into that room where they might come from. They're just waiting right now for those rockets to shine on through, and now they will start to advance forward. Looks like they're going to continue to wrap around, rotate to the high ground. They get a hit with a pretty big anti-nade, but Borkin will be able to wait in that room and get healed back up. So next step of the plan here is what are you going to do when you get onto that other side? Jake's there waiting for you to come out of that room. It looks like they're going to actually go to the low ground instead and just wrap their way around onto the high ground right by the point. Now they will drop on. Chopper gets killed, but did take out J3, so you'll lose out on what you're building there. Borkin charges away with the Diva in that room now where that health pack is. It's a very messy fight that really can go either way, and it looks like Lunaris is still making headway.
They've made headway, but they've only just taken the point. There will be a time for a contest as we see that Madman just trying their best to salt out this point as much as possible. They're gonna fall. The point percentage is gonna be ticked up. Jake has the barrage, but they won't get there in time. And Lunaris gonna take a very quick Icon Wall to wrap up this series 3-0.
Wow, what a fast one that we get there out of Lunaris. Self-Made down into the lower bracket to try and continue on. This is so impressive from Lunaris. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, and there was no chance for a counter really coming from Self-Made.
You gotta wonder sometimes, you know, does a player that has such a name as Jake, so well known, such a big pillar in this community, does that stress you out? Does that make you worried at all? And Lunaris said, no, we don't care. It's just another day. It's another game. We're gonna play what we do best, and we're gonna win. Self-Made, you know, with Samito back in the lineup, we'll see how they do in the lower bracket. I'm sure that a lot of people will be looking to see how far they get into this tournament. They have a lot of fans out there. But Lunaris, I'm sure they made a lot of new fans today.
In Jake's defense, I don't think he played horribly. It seemed like it was more of a team
Absolutely
thing
not.
than like individually. There's definitely plenty of skill on their side, but it's a lot of players playing together. Some of them for the first time in this tournament, so a bit that you have to try and do. The MVP of the match voting has already started, and we can see it's already got a lead for Chopper. And if it ends up staying Chopper, I won't be surprised because Chopper played pretty darn good.
Chopper would be my MVP pick for sure. What a mad lad on this DPS role. Just took the game into their own hands with the support of the team, was able to roll in with that Reaper so many times, get such great value from the Death Blossoms. Not to knock Kabe at all. They, as a pair, played really well together.
So good.
Yeah, you can't play that well as Reaper for Chopper if Kabe isn't there to help you out on that Sombra, but Yeah, Chopper, definitely my pick.
Specs, I thought, played really good on the D.Va too. And I mean, just the eat, when you're able to eat grab, that's always impressive to me on the D.Vas. And Gunther and Madera both played super good on the supports. But that time about to run out, and it looks like our Opinion Outpost MVP of the match is Chopper, and deservedly so. I mean, had some massive, massive Death Blossoms on the Reaper and showed the strength of that hero right now.
Yeah, Specs running that D.Va, you know, we questioned it a little bit as opposed to the Zarya. Played out of their mind with those eats, but at the end of the day, Chopper, not surprising at all, very much deserves it, and we'll be bringing them in very momentarily to talk with them.
Yep, we'll do that right now, and we'll take a timeout and make that happen. We're back here for Trials of Champions, Labosco and Jag, and we're now joined by one of the victors and the MVP of the match in Chopper from Linares. Congrats on the 3-0 win. We were talking off air, but for you guys, this was an expected outcome against this team because, you know, this is a team that was just recently put together and everything. So were you guys happy with your performance?
Yeah, I think we are all happy with the performance. We weren't really expecting much else from this team, honestly. But I think everybody played well today. And yeah, I don't know. There's not much else to say.
Well, you definitely look good. And one of the things we talked about also off air was kind of how this team has come together since the last Contenders Trials. You guys are competing for a spot. You were not one of the teams that were able to get it in OD. So how far has this team come since you guys were last competing?
There were definitely a lot of ups and downs with this team. Like, I don't think we had like a full roster for like a solid week ever, but like,
oh wow,
I think now we're looking a lot better, and I'm really confident with this lineup, and I think we'll do well.
And we know that your next team that you guys are going to play is Anteku, and we talked to Cal, who ended up getting MVP. Who he was he ended up bench warming because they played Mercy the entire time, but he talked a little bit of trash in that and said that it didn't matter who was going to win, that it was going to be easy. So have anything to answer Cal and what he said?
I mean, I don't even know like half the people on that roster, but it's probably not going to be that hard. I'm gonna be honest.
Heard it first. It's not even gonna be that hard against Inteku. I gotta ask you, the play between you and Kave, it looked really spectacular. It seemed that, you were able to follow up on those hacks, those EMPs. So who's calling those out? Is that something that your tank or shot caller calls out, or is that something that you guys are doing together?
We all kind of do it together. If someone has an ult, obviously they know how to use it best. So usually they can communicate where and when they want to use it. But other than that, we just kind of do it as a team. We just kind of just run it down, I guess. I don't know.
Well, when you run it down as a team, it usually tends to work really well, and that's for sure what we saw today. Anything else, Jag?
Just, do you have anything else to say about the win? Any shout outs you want to have from your other teammates about how they did?
I mean, everybody played really well, honestly. And there's not like any person who didn't play well today or yesterday or in general. So shout out to everybody and staff too, and the coaches. They really helped us this past week.
The team play looked incredible. It looked like you guys were so in sync, and it showed. It paid off so well.
It definitely did, but that's going to do it here for us for at least match number 2. Thanks so much, Chopper, for joining us, though. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's going to do it here for game number 2. Linares wins 3-0 over Self-Made. They will play Antico in the next game for the Final Four. Obviously, that's not what we have next. We've got Big Hungry Phil and Thibbledork that'll be coming your way to bring you the rest of the game. So stick around for those. But that's going to do it here for myself and Jag. Thanks for sticking around for these. Stay tuned, though, for Pug and Delta Phoenix, and we'll see you next time.
Academy, they lay down the shatter, let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%. Right now with Hydra building up to this Vera Barrage so quickly. Oh, it asking.
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact se escucha de abajo gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We've got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!
So you queue up for Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh, no! Kill! Let's go!
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played, competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot.
No way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then two captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in game.